XboxEra is about to enter its 5th year, and that's all thanks to you. If you're new here, let me fill you in. XboxEra is a platform for the Xbox community with best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and of course XboxEra.com, chock full of the latest news, reviews and more, all focused on your favourite platform, Xbox. It's every Xbox fan's gateway to the best of XboxEra. Our incredible podcast listened to in over 50 countries across the planet, our own digital store for games and codes, our merch store for the coolest of Xbox threads, and of course Day One, where you can track, rate and discuss your favourite games on Xbox Game Pass. XboxEra is built for you, and it's completely funded by you. If you value having a publication truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can support us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us build the next 5 years of XboxEra. Thank you for your support. Despite the fact that the team running XboxEra haven't been to journalism school, we're still lucky enough to be supported by some incredible people. While we adore all of our patrons, we have to give a very special shout out to our executive producers who are above and beyond the team, allowing us to achieve so much more than we could without them. Peter B, Top, Not Jack, Mohammed Sherez, Kevin S, Korkenstein, Jordan White, Jordan Landau, Frankie C, Devin H, Britt, Assassin Entertainment, and our grand benefactors, Torn Raptor and Crowd56. You guys are awesome, and we love you. If you want to become legend like this lot, head to patreon.com/XboxEra. Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 223 of the XboxEra podcast. We're here to talk about all of the latest in gaming from across the industry, but overall we're focused on your favourite platform, Xbox. If you or by becoming a YouTube member right here. But as always, keep your eyes peeled on XboxEra.com, especially soon, for all the latest and greatest in Xbox news. Before we do anything else, before I even introduce Nick, we need to call out our grand benefactors, Torn Raptor and Crowd56. Like, we love all our patrons, but then we really love our executive producers. And then there's like 2 golden thrones for those 2 guys to sit on because they're insane. So much love to all of you. As always, I'm joined by special Nick.
What's going on?
You sound like a dying dog lately.
It'd be like Alan in Jurassic Park 3 all over again.
Alan.
He just says Alan. We've had this discussion. There's a clip of it. As always, Jesse's here as well.
Hello.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
My back really hurts, so if I look uncomfortable, it is that. SJ just asked in chat, and it's like, yep, I have a really bad pulled muscle. Thank me, my wife gave me a massage. My hip feels a lot better, but the back is not doing great.
Hey, well, let me gross out chat.
You're not allowed. No, we'll get demonetized.
I'm going to gross out chat. Here we go. I had like a tiny little like bite on my leg. It was like a little whitehead. So I was just like, oh, just before I went to bed, boop. 3 days later, Oh boy, that looks bad. So I'm on antibiotics because it's a bit scary and I don't really want to die. This is the sort of thing that in medieval times would kill you.
Why are these cameras?
Go figure. Oh, anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. Enjoy your breakfast or your dinner or whatever you're eating right now.
No one enjoyed that.
No one enjoyed it?
forgot to play.
Well, you know, sympathy. Give me some sympathy. SJ, same thing happened to him. There you go.
Mhm.
See? Empathy instead. But yes, we're back for another episode. It's going to be an interesting one today, not only because there's an enormous amount of pretty large, crazy topics to discuss.
There are topics
as well as
that
some
we
nostalgic
vehemently
ones.
disagree with Nick on.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. It's going to get spicy. A little bit of salsa. But before, as always, before we get into any of that nonsense, let's talk about some video games that we've been playing. Nick, let's start with you because it's blank on my notes. It's blank. I don't know. What have you been playing this week? Anything?
No, this week I don't think I have been playing much in terms of new stuff. I was really working hard to get Fortnite's Battle Pass finished, which I did now. I got to level 100. And now there's a Cybertruck in Rocket League. So there's like one requirement to get a Cybertruck for free, and it looks so ugly, even in Rocket
And
League.
it should be like real
all the
life.
time.
It should just fall apart whenever it hits something. It just immediately explodes every time you hit the ball because that thing is a piece
There
of
are
shit.
so many clips of the
And
Cybertruck.
catch your fingers in the boot. It should just catch your fingers and not register.
Somebody
that
was
your
trying to
fingers
use
are
it
there.
to tow another truck out of something, and the whole body, the whole back just sheared right off the Cybertruck as it was trying to tow. It was amazing.
Brilliant design, Elon. I have to admit, I saw one IRL in LA, and it is a bit weird. Like, if it was the only car on the road and there was a lot of neon lights, I'd be like, oh, it's Cyberpunk 2077, man.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
outside of that, it is kind of just weirdly boxy and kind of like a kid drew it. Do you know what I mean? You know, like the kid's classic drawing of a car where it's all just
That is
lines.
exactly what happened. It is the Homer car.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's so
oh my
it's such a weird design. Yeah.
Oh dear.
But yes, there's one of those available in Rocket League. But I have not been playing any new stuff this week.
You sound a little hoarse.
Yeah, I went to the footy last night. I was up till 1 a.m. because by the time we got home and stuff, and the footy was full on. There was a lot of screaming and a lot of cheering last night. It was good. I won't bore you with the details, but it was good.
It's okay. It's okay. You know, like, there's something energetic and like nothing else when everyone's like, ah.
I don't know if good old Collingwood is in the chat. I don't believe he is, but man, we only won the game after the final siren because someone on the opposite team missed the shot for goal to win the game. So he was taking a shot to win it, you know, buzzer beater like they'd have in the NBA, and missed it. So we ended up winning. It was like full on. The crowd just went bonkers. Unbelievable.
Nice.
It was so good.
Nice. I love like being present and around for moments like that.
Ah,
Like
it's so good.
there's a really cheesy flash mob video of a group of folks playing Ode to Joy, like out in front of a bank, and there's just people, and then it turns into a flash mob, right?
I want to see someone do it to this. Dance to this as a flash mob.
A bit weird, but it wasn't a dance. It was like classical music, right? And the weirdest thing about it is that every time I watched that video, I was just like, I wish I was there that day. Like, because I can't imagine anything more epic seeing a bunch of professional, classically trained musicians playing that.
I virtually forced my wife to go yesterday because we had already booked the tickets ages ago, and it was my brother-in-law's 30th birthday yesterday. But he wasn't having a party or anything. It was just dinner at his mum's. So I'm saying to her, she was like, oh, I should go. I was like, don't go. You're going to regret it. I was like, you are going to regret not going to this game. I'm like, it's just dinner at your mum's. We do dinner at your mum's whenever. Like, we could see him for lunch. We could see him he could have done this the day before. Like, he's not a child that has to do it on the day.
Yeah.
Like, we're not 7 anymore. So I was like, just grinding away at her. I'm like, trust me, you should go. And mate, she does not regret going for 1 second now, because it was amazing. It was so good. But I have not been playing any games.
Well, I have to admit, I haven't been playing any games either.
Oh. Why is that?
Been very busy. Very busy.
Busy.
I suppose, I should briefly mention it. Shall I do the thing we're talking about like now?
Set it.
Yeah, okay.
Talk about it. Set it and forget it.
Well, okay.
People are really annoyed at the teases, so we're going to give them the final tease.
Okay, but before
what
we
teases?
do,
Am I missing something?
Yeah, you probably haven't been seeing the Twitter account over the last few days.
I have.
It's been okay.
I've been retweeting.
Oh, there you go. Those teases, those little teases we've been doing, little weird glitches. I think there was even one that occurred earlier in the show. But the nutshell is this. I have thoroughly enjoyed reading lots of guesses as to what the hell we're doing. And these are some of my favorites. Looks like something to do with Nintendo. Nick wishes. What else? Someone thought that we were going to be setting up our own kind of retro emulator store. Really good guess, but no, right? It was a good
anything like that is really in the crosshairs of everybody right now. You would get it. We would probably get in trouble.
Another favorite of mine was an accusation that we were just creating noise and smoke and mirrors to make Xbox fans forget about video game delays. Like,
let's
we
do
don't
that
care
one.
that much. we're running distractions from Microsoft. Checks in the mail.
God, that's a good one.
Someone said they saw Naughty Dog on one of the teases. I'm like, did you?
Yeah, I spoke to Neil. To Neil.
Yeah, good. They came back to us. He's on board.
I spoke to him and said, hey, PlayStation Studios, what do you want to do? Be stuck making the same shit for the rest of your life?
Come work for a little.
Microsoft will give you trillions. Make your way over.
But let's end the pain now. All right?
Almost.
It's going to be one of those annoying things.
I was about to say, are we ending the pain?
No, we're going to drag the pain on for just another less than 48 hours. If you look at the YouTube channel, I think right now we have a premiere video going live on Monday, 5 p.m. UK time. That's 9 a.m. PST.
Is that 12... me or you doing that? Because it still just says private for me.
I was thinking you were doing it because you're smart.
I just did it. There you go. I was on it and I did it.
So I would humbly invite everybody in the chat, our community, our patrons, to swing on by and be ready, because I want to try and put this in the right way. I can't see anything. You won't see anything. It's premiered on the YouTube channel. It's scheduled now.
Yeah,
people should be able to see the premiere.
Tom Henderson Moto once again.
Tom, the fake account.
It's not looking to change the world, but we think, at least certainly I hope, that it's something incredibly fun, incredibly different, and I genuinely believe that all of our community are going to like it for the most part.
There's a comment that might have me blocking someone from this channel forever. John, do you know which one it is? Yeah.
Yeah, I can guess. Like, Johnny, baby, you should be quiet. You're in the wrong place to be slinging insults.
I hope the SecretProject is the Jesse's critic.
Why are people so grumpy about shit? Like,
hold on, I cop crap in the comments on the YouTube videos as well.
I know, and it's shitty. People are
can't just be me.
No,
it can't just be me that cops it.
It actually shouldn't just be anybody, unless you do something really to earn it.
Yeah. So let's draw a line on it. Secret Project. We're finally going to be making some noise, proper full reveal, the whole shebang, everything out in the open. We are going to be making some very loud noise about it. And I humbly request, but recommend that you folks turn up, because what the video is, I think, is like fucking god tier for one very key ingredient, which will become apparent immediately on the day. And I think you guys will be cracking up. So there you go. That's it. And on the subject of community and YouTube and stuff, I saw like a big YouTuber who put a review up about enjoying Star Wars Outlaws, the preview, right? And I'm segueing here for you, Jesse, to talk about what you've been playing, right? Because
and he copped it, apparently.
And it was just, his comments were full of it. And he was like, and this is like, why are you letting them be there? If they're toxic and awful, get rid of them, man.
Yeah.
You don't need to pay for that shit. Like, it's not your job to cop that.
Yeah.
Just buy.
It's a one and done system. If you are just obviously shitty and toxic, you will be gone. There is no benefit for us as people providing so much free content that if you want to say something shitty, say it in your own head. Otherwise, no one will ever see what you say again. So,
as always, before just to clap that off, the recommendation, as always, argue the point, argue the topic. Don't get personal. There's no need. Like, you can have a discussion. We're all for debate. That's fine. But if you start insulting people, you're out of here.
Unless they're Jimmy Savile or Gary Glitter, just make it about the point.
SJ, if that's the case, why am I still here? Because I hate the Patriots. Who knows? When you're in the power, you have the power. Anyway, Jesse, what have you been playing?
First off, I'll say it because it's down here and going to be playing for a while, is Star Wars Outlaws. Got to play roughly three and a half hours. I had an issue with my internet trying to connect to one machine, and then we swapped to another machine and it worked fine. I got to play on PC over the Ubisoft Cloud, which I think they've also started talking about. Worked great. Felt good. It was a mid bitrate 1080p stream. Even the footage that they gave me that was recorded locally on that machine was still like 10K bitrate, 1080p. It wasn't special, but
not the best.
That game is super fun. It feels both enormous, but also you can just golden path it if you want. I imagine, like a lot of their stuff, if you want it to be this big group of worlds, because there's 6 planets in total, I think they've said. You can just have exploration mode off. It turns off paint that lets you know when you're going somewhere, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Cool. Like it lets you know if you don't want that and you want to know where to go and all that. It just gives you all the waypoints, which way you please, which I think Ubisoft has been very good about lately. If you want those huge experiences, I feel like this game's going to have a lot of side stuff you can go do. And if you're Nick and John and you don't want a big lot of fun and you want just a little tiny bit of fun in a very specific way, then you'll probably be able to get that out of this too. It is from Ubisoft Massive, who make The Division 1 and 2 and Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. They put out another game and the following year, so I guess they're a really efficient 2-team studio. Huge Star Wars game set between episode 5 and 6. So Han Solo is frozen in carbonite. You are a regular human character. You're not some incredible gunsmith. So the shooting feels good, but not like you are some trained killer. Like, she's not super tight with everything. It can feel a little loose. It is a third-person cover shooter, except for you don't press the button to go into cover like you did with The Division. She just kind of contextually gets around everything. Lots of walking, lots of talking, some decisions you make, which are mostly around the whole cartel system, because you're working like the Hutts and the Pikes and Crimson Dawn. So Kira from Solo, a Star Wars movie, is in there. I think voiced by Emilia Clarke again, who played her in the movie. So you're constantly doing jobs for them, deciding who you want to make like you more, trying to play them off each other and get all those meters up, because it'll lead you down different ways. The main plot seems to be about doing some big heist. So you build a team and you go to do that heist. I don't want to give too much away. I think a lot of the previews were just essentially mini reviews, and that's kind of boring. Just know it was really good. I enjoyed the hell out of it. And you can do Ubisoft Plus if you just want to spend $20 and rent it for a month to beat it because I doubt it's going to be that long of a title, and you'll get the full insane edition.
I'm
So
quite intrigued by it.
So why is this game being hated?
Woke.
Because it's got a female lead that isn't like dressed in just a bikini.
Yeah, because it's a very attractive woman in real life, but she's got the shaggy Star Wars 70s hair and all that type of stuff. And it's like she's not super sexualized. And it's the anti-DEI woke idiots that are really angry at it, even though none of them have played a second of it. And we have. And we say it's good.
I actually like
massive. Is it just the times? Because like I don't remember the pro tag in Remember Me being super sexualized, and no one gave that game shit.
It's just grifters, man.
Yeah, it is
horrible, annoying. I'm angry at everything. Grifters.
And Ubisoft gave in to them on Assassin's Creed Shadows by doing that awful post, and so it like empowered them to be even shittier.
Yeah, that's what I said at the time. I'm like, why are you doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was the dumbest move of them to make, to actually apologize for fucking nothing. But
and I will agree with NC. Industry-wide, Ubisoft hate is way over the top. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah,
they put out a bunch of really good games that almost all do really well. They might have a niche, like where they focus on the big open world stuff. But if you actually play all of those, like I do, they're very different from one to the other. People always talk about using a tower to unlock the map, and they haven't done that in like 8-10 years. It's like get a new angle. Like they haven't even done that in Far Cry. Now. Like Jesus Christ,
Nintendo does that now.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild wasn't their really good take on the Ubisoft formula. They just hid all the shit that Ubisoft was puking all over the map before, and Nintendo hid it, and people liked that exploration aspect, and so Ubisoft started doing that too. Drives me nuts. But yeah, Star Wars Outlaws, very good. I'll quickly go over the other two. One was very good, called Steamworld Heist II. That one is out in like 5 days. It's out next week or later the upcoming week. Really good tactics game. Looks great. If you know SteamWorld, like it's full in that SteamWorld universe. Set after the first game, it's all about a submarine and boats and shit. You can go watch the review. It's very, very good. I highly recommend it if you like your turn-based tactic stuff. And the other one that I did not like, and people are very mad at me for not liking, was Star Wars Bounty Hunter, the GameCube and PS2 game. Yeah, from 2002. They ported it over and spruced up the graphics and the way everything looks. It looks a hell of a lot better than it used to. I think Aspyr did as good a job directly porting it as they could. They've added modern controls for taking advantage of dual joysticks and the like. I just don't think that game itself holds up very well to anything modern. If you've got a lot of nostalgia for it and you're like, I would like to play that again for $20, it's fine. I think I give it a 5.5, which for us is like, it's barely above mediocre.
Middle of the road.
Yeah, it's fine. Which I think is all they were kind of going for, because they knew actually remaking it and fixing a lot of the issues with the gameplay and the level design and all that type of stuff would have been very expensive. And these ports are generally trying to make some money without spending too much. So those are
There's a question in the chat about if it's 60 FPS on Xbox and does it hold up? And
I do not know, unfortunately, Matt. We were playing via the cloud on a Ubisoft PC.
I presume he's asking about. Yeah, he is asking about Outlaws.
Yeah.
So we recognized we were talking about two different Star Wars games.
Yeah, so Bounty Hunter 60, and it looks and runs great for what it is. Like, obviously very old looking. SteamWorld Dig, I only actually played on PC, but that game ran at 190 FPS on a Steam Deck, so it'll be fine on Xbox, I'm sure. And Star Wars Outlaw, only on PC for this, because it was through their cloud. They don't like make builds and send them out. They have you connect to their cloud, and then they load you into specific saves that are areas polished enough that they're happy to show them off in preview footage. That was supposed to be edited, but a lot of people just put their full friggin' 4 hours of gameplay up, and I'm like, okay, sure.
I'm shocked.
But yeah, it's I thought it looked great. It felt really good. It had the build there. They noted it had some graphical things. Pistol shots didn't have the right effect, and some of the music wasn't kicking in when it was supposed to. But when things were working right, it was awesome. It is a big, almost Red Dead feel for being a lived-in environment, but not to that whole Clockwork level. It just kind of has that feel because you've got your speeder bike for when you're going around. I tried to use it like a warthog, which is impossible because you just immediately turn. So that you use the stick or the keys to just go left and right. But if you want to do a sharp turn, that's when you like change your aim on where you're going, and that's why I kept crashing in the early footage.
Oh yeah. I watched your video. You just immediately stacked it into like a tree.
Yeah, because I was trying to drive like a warthog, and like, no, just use the keys. I'm like, oh shit, okay. And it does have the Red Dead paint your targets and kill them thing, which is like the main way you can fight when you're on the speeder, and it's a meter you build up in combat. It seems like it's going to be pretty deep, have a lot of systems, but also none of them are too deep, so that it didn't feel daunting at all.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm actually looking forward to trying that one. I think that looks like fun. On the subject of 60, I mean, this is Ubisoft massive. Avatar, is it on the Snowdrop engine? Or
everything they do is, so it looked like it is. So Avatar was 60, and
60 on,
and they actually added a 40 FPS mode to Avatar that kept the best looking lighting and feels really good. Even though it's a shooter, like that 40 feels pretty great.
Yeah, so maybe we'll get best of all the worlds. Like Ubisoft are pretty good with that kind of stuff.
The requirements on this one for PC are way up there, just for 1080 60 even. Like it's pretty.
It's like 3060 minimum or something.
Something I just remembered. You know how we were talking about the Ubisoft Tower thing? Don't they still do it in Assassin's Creed?
No, so they've got the Eagle Points for. It's not nearly what it used to be, where you had to do these long ass hard climbs, like going up towers in Far Cry or finding the handholds in Assassin's Creed. Now it is you just get to the synchronization point and it will give you some icons around, but it's not the full on. Yeah. It's going to take me 10, 15 minutes to get up there.
I got back into AC Origins a couple of weeks ago and was climbing up the little short towers and getting to the Eagle Points and like.
In 2, they weren't short, and it was that whole handhold system where you had to it was a puzzle to get up to. Same thing with Far Cry, you had to figure out where the jumps were and get up. Now, if they have that type of stuff, it's all streamlined.
Nice. Yeah. I slightly lied when I said I hadn't been playing anything. You know, like when we were doing the subathon, I found my entire flock save was wiped, and I had to restart. I've got 2 animals left. And I cannot get them to appear no matter what I try. And I keep like logging in just for like 20 minutes, just like throw some food in a feeder. Like, come on, where are you? And nothing. It's annoying me now. I need to catch them all. I understand now why Pokemon
you need your Aunt Jane to be proud of you.
Yeah. Or I'm more into Uncle Reg because, you know, he's funnier. But there you go. That's what we've been playing. That is the whole shebang. And the secret projects time frame is revealed. So, you know, just to recap, seriously, hit the remind me button. You want to be there. I could probably say to you, I'm going to make the semi-promise. It is very likely there'll be a celebrity appearance. Put it that way.
But it's not Nick.
Oh yeah.
But it's not Nick.
I was thinking to myself, who? And then I realized who you were talking about. I'm like, yeah, there is a celebrity appearance. By the very definition of the word, yes. That reminds me. I'm surprised that I haven't asked you this like privately, let alone now live on the show. You ended up watching Deadpool and Wolverine, didn't you?
I have seen Deadpool and Wolverine, yes.
Oh, you've seen it too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. So should we... Oh, we didn't do the movie podcast yesterday.
No, we don't do those anymore, it seems like.
We can do one any day next week in the evening, pretty much.
Oh, fuck, I forgot to actually write the thing.
Friday, that's fine by me.
Yeah, we'll do it Friday. So we'll do Deadpool and Wolverine and something else.
Yeah, sure. We could do Quiet Place Day 1.
God damn it.
We can do Quiet Place Day 1.
Yeah. Or Kingdom of Planet of the Apes. We could do all 3. Who cares? You know,
Kingdom.
Chuck them all in there. Do it for the patrons.
Tell me you like Deadpool and Wolverine. Come on.
It was a very entertaining film.
Oh, that's so good. Did you like it, Jesse?
Oh, yeah. No, it was fun. It was really goddamn... It was just super entertaining. Like, it was focused on being fun and not worrying about timelines. very much, and some things like it
Not
was
worrying about anything.
It was that mix of nerdy, but also just like being really a mix of really cool and really funny. But we'll definitely get into it more on Sick and Flicks this Friday.
Oh, loved it. I loved it so much.
If you're wondering, dear listeners, what Sick and Nick's Flicks actually is, it's an exclusive show for our Patreon community where Jesse and I talk about how great the movies we've picked are, and Nick usually brings along something awful and hits us with terrible opinions over and over. But if we're doing the episode this Friday on those 3 films, I think we'll have a pretty positive episode all overall. But there's something like 11, 12 episodes, something like that, 10 or 11 episodes. Currently available in the back catalogue. So as soon as you become a patron, you get access to all of them. They're just for you guys. And I think we've been talking about doing like watch-alongs, where we sit in the Discord and we have like a commentary tack and we can kind of all hang out. But more to come, because there's going to be busy times ahead for everyone, and you'll soon see why. See you on Monday. Anyways, let's get into the news of the week, because there's a lot. But before we do that, Nick has a special message from our sponsor.
This is the secret project. The secret project is that you
Xbox
should be drinking...
acquired control.
Yeah, because I was the only person on Earth drinking it. No, that's not true. Because I was drinking most of the world's supply.
You and Gary Barwick
of Control. Yes, Gary Barwick and I were drinking the majority of the world's supply of Control. We thought, you know what? Acquisition season's back on. We've acquired Control. That way we can now force you all to drink it. So, in the interest of forcing you all to drink it, go to www.drinkcontrol.com/XboxEra and use our code to get 10% off. We own this now. We
this
don't
is
really,
us.
But yes. Yeah, we don't really, but yeah. Make sure. It's very nice.
Okay, right. Well, let's get into it then. There's some spicy topics here, so we'll start off with the banner topic of today's episode.
For once, we won't forget
remember it this time. Pour one out.
So sad.
Look back with fondness. The Xbox 360 marketplace is fully shut down. It is offline. That dashboard now is as empty as my soul. Sad times.
And Eden and the UI team are
You can get the old
happy.
one back. You can get the old one back.
What, the old blades, do you mean?
No, as in the dash to make it look more like before it went offline.
Ah, okay.
If you just unplug if you just send your console offline, it suddenly goes back to the former online dash.
Weird.
It's so weird.
So it starts showing ads and stuff, like
it adds all those original tiles back again, and it's so strange. But yeah, it's sad. I hope you all got the games that you wanted to get before it shut down.
I got
grabbed
every
a
single
couple.
one. I got nothing, and I'm extremely happy. I
got Darkstalkers. I bought Darkstalkers. I bought. Oh, what else did I buy? I bought like 2 or 3 games and like some DLC for games. Because I still have my 360 set up. Ah, yes, Street Fighter X Tekken. Abdul just reminded me in the chat. I got Street Fighter X Tekken, which I also have on PlayStation Vita. So I've got 2 copies of that game now.
I see Magnum asking, yes, you can still buy all of the back compat games except for Sonic Generations because they're remaking it. And they, in a scumbag move, it would appear, have delisted it.
Yeah. I've got that on PS3 and 360 now.
Yeah, they gave it away with
Generations. Gold. No, on 360 I bought it on both, I think. I can't remember.
But they also gave it away with gold, so I got it too. I'll never play it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Maybe I grabbed it with gold too, I don't know. But yeah, it's sad. The 360 was just... I mean, the 360 is gone per se. You can still play your 360, but it's just... I think what makes... Like, the store, the 360 store... I feel like the 360 store being shut down is a sad moment for the industry, not just because a store is gone and you can't buy games anymore, but the 360 store, people forget that was the first digital storefront ever. Like, it's the first digital storefront is now shut down.
It changed how we interact with our consoles.
That the Xbox 360 store precedes the iOS App Store. It technically just barely precedes Steam, as we know it. It changed the face of the digital marketplace. It was the pioneer of the digital marketplace.
It stinks that the reason they were taking it down, it seems from what we've heard, was because of how it can negatively affect the current store and break things all the time. I wish there had been a way to completely separate them, but I guess the back compat program maybe makes that harder. I don't know. I am curious if we ever hear from the people that used to talk about the 360 marketplace breaking things that it's better now. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. It's just, that part of it is a bit sad.
I get it. But also, like, I didn't go and pick up any old games. Like, I'm really one of those.
I did.
Like, everything that I own, I kind of already got what I wanted out of it. And some of the classics I own digitally. Like, I didn't need to go and pick up anything else at a bargain. Like, and I totally get why people would, but it wasn't a big deal to me. I think more than anything, it was just thinking back to the memories of what the Xbox 360 was, what it meant to me, the kind of passion that it inspired in me in terms of some of the greatest gaming memories of my life, from LAN parties to, seminal moments to, the first Gears of War and the first time you played that and you were like, what the fuck? The community,
the old
Halo
lobbies,
3,
the old racist
lobbies, voice chat lobbies,
the old racist homophobic lobbies.
You can't get those on PlayStation 5 with their microphone and the remote.
And you get them in Rocket League.
It's changed somewhat. Like, I one of my fondest memories was I was playing doubles in Halo Reach on 360, right? And it was against these two definitely Scottish dudes, and they were open mic, and they were ripping us apart because they were kicking our ass, and then they were being horrific. Like, I can't repeat anything of what they were saying. They were absolutely destroying us in the game. And we were pretty good back then, me and my colleague, and they were destroying our minds. They were in our heads, man. And the score was, and back then doubles was like 25 kills to win, right? So the score was 25-7, right? It wasn't. It was 27, 20 to them, 7 points to them, right? So they needed 5 more kills. They pissed us off so much that something must have just clicked in both of us, and it was like we engaged the rage. And we whooped them 25-21. It was like the ultimate comeback, kids. And that lobby, like, that memory is seared into my brain of just like, like you would just carry it all the way back. It was great.
I've got so many memories from all those, especially Halo 2, the old Halo 2 lobbies. Yeah. Oh my God. Some of the stuff that used to get said in those lobbies was like, lucky Microsoft wasn't recording shit back then. Because, man, a lot of people would have
definitely been banned.
Far out. It was just full on. I got called a British piece of shit so many times back in the Halo 2 lobbies. Like, seriously, I'm like, how do you people not know an Australian accent? Like, I don't understand.
We only knew Paul Hogan. It's not an knife.
God.
Yeah, you had to really play it up. Like Butcher and his
on Rocket League. On Rocket League the other day, my own teammates were in the voice chat, and one of them was like, "You sound fat." I'm like, "Do I?"
Wow.
He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Stop eating." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Okay, is like 75 kilos, 76 kilos, is that considered overweight? He's like, "Oh man, you're anorexic. Why don't you eat some food?" I'm like, "What's wrong with you?"
This is why you never engage with them ever. There's no positive outcome. It doesn't happen.
Oh my God, he was just so dumb. Him and his mate, and I'm just like, you guys are just failures of the education system. I'm like, I don't understand. What the hell's wrong with you guys? What's school got to do with this? Like, what do you mean? Just what is wrong with you?
I used to like
no. He was not 12, and see, that's the scary part. He was not 12. He would have been at least 18, 19. At least 18, 19. Just.
But mentally, he was 12.
Yeah, mentally, God only knows. But I used to love ripping out like clapbacks back in the day in the lobbies. Like they'd say something about your mum, and like, oh, your mum this, your mum that. I'm like, dude, I don't actually have a mum. I'm like, me and my dad just share yours. What do you mean? And they have no comeback for that. They've got absolutely no comeback. I used to love it. It was so good. Just horrible stuff back in the day.
The good old
But let's be honest. Everyone misses it, though. Everyone misses it deep down.
I hated it when it was the thing. I was never a fan. It was not for me.
I used to love a bit of the bants. That's the one thing I missed. Was as soon as party chat became party chat, it was like everyone suddenly become very insular, and you stayed in your little niche group, right? And there was never any of that open mic. And I think back to that, like, and I met a lot of my, still to this day, real life group of friends that are the closest friends I've got, playing Halo 2. Back in 2004, 2005. And if parties had existed, would that have ever happened? You know what I mean? Like, this was a group of a community that came together and formed a forum on Bungie.net that was specifically, I think it was like War Walkers and Dot Realm and all these different names. But it was about people that were struggling, like the Australians, with always having to be on a bloody American connection and having terrible games, right? So we would use to come together and play customs. And, I'm so glad that I met those guys because, probably wouldn't be doing this right now, in all honesty.
I became friends with, and I'm still friends with, Patron Jason and also Carlos, who also knew Gaz, who just appeared in the chat.
It goes with like that's Call of Duty and Fortnite now. That happens. I see that has happened a lot.
Fortnite. I don't experience. I've got voice chat on in Fortnite. I've turned it off for my son, and I've hidden his name. Like the parental controls in Fortnite are incredible. But I don't hear any voices in Fortnite ever. I don't know what it is. I know, and I play a ton of Fortnite, and I never hear voices. Call of Duty, completely different ball game. Call of Duty's still got that old school flavor to it.
I have to admit, I've been seeing more clips of like people playing COD and just chilling out, and I'm like, well, maybe I want to give that a little download.
Nothing little about that download.
Yeah. My little boy, my 10-year-old, was like, "Can I play Call of Duty?" And I was like,
"No."
I don't mind him playing Call of Duty.
Space
no campaign,
Series S.
No campaign, and no voice chat comms. Like he can play with just the friends he has.
How old is he?
He's 10. There's not much in that game that's like nothing that he doesn't already know exists in the world. It's no voice chat. Fragile little mind. As long as I turn off voice chat and prevent him from.
And maybe this is me being a little old lady.
Maybe.
But I feel like you don't want to desensitize them to that kind of violence too young.
I agree with you.
I feel like.
I agree with you to a certain degree. I think like I wouldn't let him play GTA because the subject matter is very apparent. Like in terms of you can just beat people but he understands that there are soldiers and they fight and there is combat, right? He knows what that's like. He played Halo. There's some blood, but it's not.
And my son plays Halo, and that's what I'm saying. Because Halo is less visceral, and less realistic. It's just cartoon violence like Fortnite. My son plays Fortnite, and they just disappear into digital pixels. COD is different. COD's depiction of violence is just that little bit more quote-unquote realistic and visceral. Yeah. So I don't know if I'd want to desensitize him to that kind of thing yet. We didn't all start playing games like that till our 20s, don't forget.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Do you know what I
It's a different
mean?
world for them.
So I think we forget that. Yes, we were playing violent games when we were 10, but they were all pixel art games. Street Fighter, Shinobi, Streets of Rage. We weren't playing realistic military shooters at 10 years old.
Yeah. We'll see.
So-
I mean, he's trying to download it, and he had to wipe his Series S, like literally wipe it for like everything but Minecraft, so he could fit it on. And I was like, don't worry, when we load it up, we'll pick so it's just multi and stuff like that. But I mean, I'll play with him and see how it is. I haven't played in a while, but I don't remember it being
Get him
like,
into Fortnite.
horrific.
Maybe just get him into
He plays
Fortnite.
Fortnite. He loves Fortnite, but he's where it's come to Game Pass. A lot of his friends that he plays with, like he was playing with them on Fortnite. I was like, "Have you downloaded Call of Duty yet?" Like we're all playing Call of Duty, and he's the FOMO's hitting. You know, the social pressures
10-year-olds
hitting.
are
for
one
the
of the
10-year-olds.
biggest, if not the biggest, groups of people playing Call of Duty. It
Yeah,
just
I don't know
has.
if I
It's
like
always
that.
been like that.
I don't know if I like. See, I'm lucky. My son's group just play Fortnite. They just play Fortnite.
Yeah. I mean, there's a good point in the chat.
Much
Arthur
better
one,
for that age bracket.
Arthur one in the chat. We did grow up playing GTA, and yes, it wasn't realistic, but the subject matter was pretty mature, right?
It taught me you are supposed to run over the sex worker after you do your business and they have your money.
After you
And that's the only way to get it back.
your money back.
Even GTA though. GTA 3, I was 21 when GTA 3 came out.
Yeah.
I was 21 years old. So again, I was already mature as a 21-year-old man can be, because a 21-year-old man realistically has the maturity of a 14-year-old. Women are far more mature than us. But yeah, I wouldn't. Fortnite and Halo was as, and even my wife was funny about Fortnite and Halo. I go, it's cartoony. There's no blood. There's no it's not realistic violence. It's not. It's fine.
But I think our kids nowadays are growing up with a different level and a different understanding. Like to your point, we grew up with pixel art.
See,
and,
I don't
cartoon.
agree.
I do
don't agree.
Man. Like,
you know what it is? They're being
What?
raised by a bunch of fucking shit parents. That's what I think. I don't think it is what you say. I think they're being raised by shit, lazy parents. Most Gen Xers and millennials aren't good parents.
yeah,
This is
well,
the problem.
maybe I'm not a good
You're
parent.
generalizing about hundreds of millions, if not
I
billions,
don't
of
give
people.
a fuck.
I know that's why.
I don't give a fuck.
It's a stupid statement. It is. It is.
It's not.
It is.
It's not.
It's entirely.
They don't.
untrue.
Am I a bad parent?
They
Nick?
just don't have the balls. They don't have the balls to say no to their children.
You have no idea.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
Some do.
There is
sure.
some element of that, like in some parenting.
And there's
like
always been
nowadays.
some element like that. Every generation, if you go back through
I have it. With them in their iPads.
3,000 plus years of history, you go back through, and every generation always looks at the one that comes after them and says they're weak bitches. Every time. It's always the thing, and it's always stupid.
Yeah, and does. Each generation of parents does get a bit slacker and slacker and slacker.
No.
But that's,
I think,
been-
I think
thousands of generations. You're
there's
saying
an element of kids. Like I look at kids nowadays, and that like you see clips of them and the way they treat teachers in schools and
Yep.
the way they talk back to adults, right?
Yep.
And I think back to my youth.
we
and,
get the shit kicked
like,
out of us.
Well, it wouldn't necessarily there was no beatings and the cane was definitely out. By
Wasn't
the time
there?
No, not for me.
Man,
Not doing school.
You didn't go to my Greek school.
No, I did not. So
Oh.
like there was no cane or anything like that. But I see those kind of clips, and granted that's all anecdotal. It's all like you're just seeing that one thing. But I think back and I don't recall anything ever even coming close to that in my entire primary, secondary school life. Like hearing
Most kids
and
didn't have
seeing
the
that.
balls to do it. Most kids didn't
now-
have the balls to do it.
You can't do that. Like there is no okay, you get excluded. Good, I don't care, I don't like school. Like there is no, but that's kids. Like they think they know everything and they think they're right. I
Yeah.
was that way. The closest I ever came to getting really sarky was with my science teacher, Mr. Spencer. And Mr. Spencer, if you're watching right now, he's not.
Phil.
No. Mr. Spencer was a good science teacher, but I was a lazy student. And unfortunately, when he got real mad, he kind of when he enunciated, he was like that episode of Friends with Gary Oldman. You got to enunciate and get your P's, right? And he was just spitting, right? And I remember that was the sarkiest I've ever been, and I got a 3-day suspension for it. He was having a go at me for not sitting in coursework. And he was spraying in my face. He was proper roaring at me like this close. And I was like, Jesus Christ, sir, I wanted the news, not the weather.
Not your COVID.
He was enraged. But that's the closest I came to absolute, sark. But it's all fun. Anyway, look, we're going off on a tangent here. And I really want to cover the super chat up there. And also emotionally recover from being called a shit parent.
Mate, I've said 100 times, I'm a terrible father.
I'm project that onto everyone else.
I'm not excluded from that, but there are certain things where I reckon I do okay. My daughter doesn't have Snapchat. She doesn't have fucking TikTok. She doesn't have all that shit. I'm not going to let her get ruined by that shit so young. She can do that when she's older. Just have a modicum of gumption about raising your own children. It's okay to say no to them every now and again. You don't have to just say yes to fucking everything. I know it's hard because you love them and they give you the eyes and they give you, sometimes you just got to say no.
Sometimes. And we've all done it, parents. If you're watching right now and you're a parent, sometimes you just give them the tablet, right? And just let the tablet do the job, right?
I'm bad with the iPad.
Let's all be a little bit honest here. We just go, shut up and watch that.
Yeah, just leave me alone. Take the iPad and leave me alone and just shut up. Okay.
Anyway, super chat. Let's go.
Paul Drew with the super chat. No question, just enjoying the show. Thank you for the great content you're regularly putting out. Thanks, Paul. I mean, I don't put out that much regular content, but I do my best.
You are welcome.
Thanks, mate.
Appreciate you, Paul. Thank you for supporting us. And I can see you're a YouTube member, so much love.
Yeah, that's right, Abdul. That was the worst thing I did as a parent, showing my son Astrobot, and now he got a PS5. But
betrayal.
Hello, good parent. He saved for that PS5 himself. I didn't buy it for him. Fuck yeah, baby.
Anyways,
Kid learned at 8 years old to save.
That was a tangent and a half, but we were talking about goodbye Xbox 360, and then we went and spiraled into our youths, which are way behind us. Anyway, moving on, the next topic, and let's see how hot a potato this one's going to be. And I'm going to get this out of the way before I let Nick interrupt us, and then and I think Jesse and I are probably aligned on this. Yes, it wasn't a surprise because we'd kind of heard the rumblings from certain folks. Avowed is delayed to February of 2025, and I look at it and I think, good, because I don't, and this is a personal take. It's not a defense. I'm not defending Microsoft. I've got a shit ton to play between and the only chance, because Avowed's not my genre, so medieval RPG, it's not something I'd normally touch. The only chance it's going to have of me having to even look at it is if it's next year, right? So I'm like, okay, you've got Stalker 2, you've got Ara History Untold, you've got Age of Mythology, you've got...
So move Ara.
I agree to a degree of RTSs being... But Ara's a third party. So move Ara. Anyway, I don't mind. It's fine. But I've seen the arguments online that if you just focus on Microsoft's first party, they held Hellblade 2 in May, and this is bad. And I'm like, is it?
It's not bad. It's not that it's bad. It's not that it's bad per se. It's whatever. My thing is, like most things that relate to Xbox, it's just not great optics. Mind you, most of us guessed this back in May or June. Everyone was like, so which of the games is going to get delayed? And most people were like, probably Avowed. and here we are, and Avowed's the one that's been delayed. So it's not that surprising. Most of us guessed this after the showcase.
As far as it being a timing thing, like Ara and the others are September. And if Avowed, you know what, I bet you if Avowed could be ready for September, they probably would have done it. But October, they've got COD, and then November, they've already got Stalker 2, and there's a bunch of other stuff like Assassin's Creed coming out. It's not just...
You have to worry about your partners.
Yeah, it's not just what they have. It's, is this game just going to get lost in the shuffle? Because that was Tom Warren's original reporting. Game's fine. It could be done for its original release date, which I think we all saw was mid-November. But then Assassin's Creed got that. It's only a couple weeks after COD. Indiana Jones is most likely a few weeks after that in early-ish December. Like, they have so much that they are doing the thing that Nintendo does, except for they messed up by giving it the year and then seeing, okay, there's a bunch of other stuff now, so we're going to move it back the way a Nintendo would, because Nintendo just pockets their stuff and goes, you go there, you go there, you go there, and we've just got this constant stuff of running too. So
it's nice to see a Microsoft first-party game in the first quarter of the year. Like, I am so bored of them shoving everything between September and December. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ! Like,
okay,
there's a load of other months. Did
they ever give it an original date? They didn't.
No, they just only ever said the year. There was a period for a couple hours where their website showed a date of like mid-November, or it might have only been like a couple of minutes, but that was it.
So the reason we're going with right now, and it's an assumption. So the reason we're going with now is they moved it to February to give it some breathing space.
That was Tom Warren's report.
Yeah. To not do a Titanfall 2, you know, where you drop it in a terribly timed season against juggernauts where it just gets immediately buried, lost, and then we'll have the other spectrum of the internet going, oh, look how terribly Avowed performed. Microsoft, what are you doing?
I don't agree that Titanfall 2's date is what caused its issues. It didn't help, but it definitely wasn't the main issue with
that
Titanfall
campaign
2.
Was banging.
Yep, and the multiplayer compared to the first game was shite.
I have a lot of friends that loved it still.
That tech test, as soon as that tech test was over, all the Titanfall 1 fans were like, fuck this game. Yeah, the release date just buried it finished the job that the tech test started.
The report from Tom on Avowed was game's in fine shape.
Breathing space.
Yeah, no problem. Game's in fine shape. They don't want it to get lost in the shuffle. That was the reasoning he has reported.
So if it ends up getting pushed again, then what?
I don't care about things like that. They've given it a direct date now. If it gets pushed again, then I go, wow, what's happening? But I don't care to talk about it now because it's just focusing on the negative for no reason other than
it's not about it's not about the negativity. I just think it comes back to that transparency thing. And again, it can't just be a coincidence that Avowed was the game we all guessed might get pushed, and then here we are.
It is
coincidence. And Avowed's been pushed. Okay.
You want a hypothetical that you just want a hypothetical.
That date.
You just want a hypothetical to try and push your point, but it's a hypothetical, so I don't have anything to say about it. I have no take on it.
Can I spit out a hot take? Can I spit out a really burning hot take? Sometimes I sit and I watch reaction. And look, I understand it, right? I can see it in the chat right now, and I'm not disparaging your opinion. People that I'm talking about, right? But like, there is this inherent focus on Microsoft first party only, and if you look at it purely through that lens, right? Purely through that lens, it's like, you know, the first 5 months, nothing. Hellblade 2, nothing. And then all this smorgasbord of first-party published titles across multiple platforms, including PC with World of Warcraft.
Well, the narrative has shifted a little bit now beyond first-party to exclusives because PlayStation didn't have anything.
Well, yeah, it's exclusives on PlayStation.
Exclusives that weren't first-party.
Exclusives on PlayStation and Game Pass on Xbox, I think is the way people look at it.
This is the hot take, right? Like, Microsoft's focus Microsoft don't care about that. They care about looking after all of the things and the deals they bought for Game Pass. And I look at the whole year, and I don't think, what has singularly Microsoft made, and that's my only focus, because I look at the whole platform and I've played a fucking shit ton of really great games. Like Game Pass has been on fire the last couple of months for me personally, right? But the hot take is this: sometimes I look at the noise and the uproar and the frothing rage from the actual Xbox community, and I get it. Like, as a community, we're used to having our voices heard and making a big noise and having that interaction and having that effect, right? But sometimes I just think that everybody is their own fucking worst enemy, and half of the negativity online is from the console's own fucking fan base. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is just a hot take, but sometimes I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, it's just a moving date. Like, if it was in trouble, like, I know the report is the game's fine, they're just moving it to give it breathing room, which is perfectly reasonable. But if it was in trouble, are you honestly telling me that you would prefer it to come out and it be in bad shape? Is that the argument you want? Like, the only argument I agree with...
then, if that was the case, the argument then would then move to, well, why is another game in development trouble?
And that's the only argument I agree with. You know, we had Phil back on the show, episode 100, with the ambition of a big game every quarter, right? And they're still not nailing that cadence. And that was
we thought by 2024 they'd be there. We thought for sure by 2024 they'd be there.
And that's really the only bit of criticism I kind of vibe with. But as a person that has done some game dev of a degree, I kind of get it. Making games is hard. Like, it's not a defense force. I'm just trying to give you guys a broader look. But I agree that Microsoft need to get better at project dates and when things will ship. And actually, but they have a subscription service to space stuff out on, and they have to worry about other partners. And I think we all just need to bear that in mind a little bit. That's my take. I don't know if it was that hot, but yeah.
And I agree. If they had delayed Forza last year to have it in the first half, because Forza's in great shape now, or it's in much better shape. People get very mad if you say great, but if that game obviously needed a little more time to cook, because it was the legit rebuilt entirely type of thing, so they need a little more time. Sure. So doing it, even with Avowed's case, it's not the whole needs more time. It'll definitely benefit from it. Like, of course, they're not just going to have it done and sit on it like Nintendo does, because they're nuts and they're the only ones that can do that. They will keep working on it and have it going and polish it to a sheen, kind of like they did with Starfield, despite what people want to think. For the way Bethesda game works, Starfield was in great shape at launch. Infinitely better than anything they've put out. But yeah, I have no problems with it, because I don't know how we cover everything that's coming out this year, and I really do not know how we cover everything in 2025. I have no idea.
It's going to be an interesting ride. And I do want to call this out in the chat, because I just saw, where is it? From YouTube member Barry Donnellan. Speaking of rage, how are the riots in the UK? I hope everyone is safe. Yeah, my partner lives in Southend with her kids, and seeing what happened down there, all because of the horrific and unspeakable tragedy of 3 little girls being stabbed to death by a UK citizen, not an immigrant, off a small dinghy, right? But seeing the far right in this country weaponize and just spread misinformation on Elon Musk's platform, which I hope he gets sued to shit for not actually moderating it. Mm-hmm. And seeing the riots now here in the UK, and seeing these English Defence League morons out on the street attacking police, looting Greggs, it's horrific. And it's just a case of, this is the modern age. You can fake anything, you can say anything, it'll whip people into a frenzy, and off they go. And it is such an absolute shame. But they actually, my partner and her kid are staying here this weekend, because Southend tonight and tomorrow is under a dispersal order. So there is a heavy police presence at the stations, people being turned back off of trains, because they're coming down from out of the county, or at least certainly out of Southend, to come and cause trouble. So the police have got a special order in place, and they're just dispersing groups. Get the fuck out of here. So yeah, England's the UK's going through it right now. Crazy times. Sorry, I just thought I'd call it out because Southend is pretty close to home for me. So yeah. Anything else?
Avowed is the lead.
Yes.
I love this show.
I just, like I said, man, I mean, I'm not going to play Avowed, but I genuinely hope that game hits its Feb 18 date.
Yeah, I think
I'm going to make that it won't.
What?
Nothing.
What?
I think it was an intimating that it won't, or something to that degree. But hey ho, looking forward to it. Let Obsidian cook, for Christ's sake. They're a great studio.
They are.
Yeah.
Outer Worlds 2, I may consider playing.
Hey, another project. Just while we're on the subject of Obsidian.
Secret Project.
Yeah, supposedly. It's
We're
one.
not the only ones with Secret Project.
Is it Fallout New Vegas 2?
Yeah, it was one, was it art director or some person who works in our art department just said they had started working there a month or two ago on a unannounced project. So their projects have both been announced that we know of. It wouldn't be crazy with Avowed in the home stretch that they're working on incubating something else. So yeah. Because that is the normal cadence, which is one of the things that didn't seem to happen with Tango, where as you're finishing up, a few people move over, they start working on other stuff so that you can then ramp up and get that going once your product's done or close, or very close to done. So
yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
I'm asking the question. I just sent a DM now that I thought about it.
Wow.
I also want to bring up Windows Central's report from Jez that Microsoft have all moved back in. And this to me, when I talk about,
I thought that was
their management.
Tom Warren in his letter. Under one roof again was Tom.
I think he did it after Jez. I think Jez had the scoop, in terms of what they're doing with the smaller 18. But I can see it's kind of on here. But I think it's kind of works in the order of topics. In that this pleases me because I think this is arguably where Microsoft have been fumbling in a big way from a management of all the different teams, is they've actually realized and seen the success of all of these smaller projects, these unique ideas, these new ideas, right? And they're forming smaller AA teams within Microsoft in a building together, working collaboratively, all back under one roof as a team. And I can't help but think that is the beginning of a recipe for success. As great as remote work is, and I love it.
Best.
I love it, but I agree. And
hopefully I'll get to do it
on Monday.
Forever.
I'll talk about it more on Monday. Working collaboratively across time zones with different folks to put something together is more difficult than it would be if we were all in the same building, Anyways, very cool stuff about all these AA teams. What do you guys think about it? Do you think
try to get me in the office?
No, you wouldn't.
No way.
I hated going to London. Hated the commute.
I think having all these teams and having them work together has been something they've really started with the Coalition being their Unreal Engine savants who now get help from Ninja Theory with all their motion capture, and State of Decay's studio wants to build this whole motion capture thing, and they're all that collaboration when you've got 70 plus teams across your 3 giant publishing arms it's a tool that you didn't used to have. That is one of the main things that powers Ubisoft. They're incredibly good at having multiple teams work together. And you've seen it even with the Coalition working with Crystal Dynamics and with Playground working with Christ, what the hell are they called? Montreal, former Square Enix freaking team that did Guardians of the Galaxy.
Crystal Dynamics.
Why can't none of us remember? They're one of my favorite friggin' developers. Eidos, Montreal. Yes, thank you. Chris, I could not remember the name. But having more and more of that, when you've got these teams that really know stuff, who was it? It was Obsidian helping State of Decay on the multiplayer stuff because they had the systems. That's like Star Wars Outlaws using Beyond Good and Evil 2's masked transition load screens for going into and out of atmosphere, where it's what people wanted in Starfield, but it really is just a cutscene that plays in real time, where you go into clouds and you're in space, or you go into clouds and you're back on the planet. But that tech was there, and they're able to integrate it into this engine because they're so good at collaborating.
Yeah. And Nick, you know what that means, right? This whole AA team. Let's use all these back catalog IPs we own because
what does it mean?
Shorter, smaller, interesting games.
See.
Come on,
we'll see.
Get hype about that.
I'm still expecting bloated, fucking.
There's been hardly any.
Black Ops 6. Black Ops 6 really is just leaking all over Twitter. Holy shit!
Yeah, they're playing it at the Olympics, so.
So everyone at the Olympics is just leaking.
Yeah, they're letting Olympians play it, and I think they're just taking video.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the game's like a couple of months away.
It's free.
Anyway.
It's Call of Duty multiplayer. It's just free. It's free advertising. There's a leak too.
Yeah, it's whatever.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those friggin' builds they had for the a jailbroken PS4 was able to get it. Wow. Because I've seen a lot of people playing it at the Olympics, but a proper leak. So I guess the actual like. God, see that's one of the things about the PS4, and even the PS5. The guy never let out the PS5 hack, but like even up to the PS4, it was if they were in Microsoft's position, I think third parties would have been very mad at their security.
Yeah.
But
hey, okay. When is Black Ops 6 releasing?
Late October. Yeah, mid-October if you pay a lot. Late October if you don't.
Okay.
Or you can pay a little and have it on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Mid-October.
Super chat from Jason. Speaking of which, what is happening with that Wu Tang game?
Who knows? We only know that it exists from leaks.
Yeah, well, it's funny he mentions that. I got a DM about it, like a couple of weeks ago.
Nope.
Look, I'm not.
Nope.
I'm not gonna.
Nope.
I'm not going to use a lot of the wording that's in this DM because a lot of it.
You're not going to speak it out loud.
A lot of it is quite inflammatory. It's quite inflammatory wording in this DM.
Don't do it. No. Negative. Banned.
No, it's a not even real yet. Technically, it's only rumored. Like, it's not officially announced yet. So that's the weird, awkward thing about this game. It doesn't exist yet. They haven't said anything.
There's probably no point talking about it until we know it does. Right?
I will say these are the level of leaks I am so over. I'm so over. Like Jordan Midler talking about
what leak? What leak?
No,
what leak?
Okay.
There's no leak.
I know. This is the.
I think he's talking insider talk.
The insider level of like Jordan Midler saying, "Well, I've talked to people."
I didn't even bring that up.
I've talked to people at Playground that really doubt Fable hits in 2025. I'm like, I don't care. There's hundreds of people working on the game. Unless it's the game director saying that, I don't care. It doesn't mean anything. We attach so much meaning to it. Who knows? It could be one person. It could be five. Who knows? But what position are they in? Would they actually know? Do they just think that because the thing they're working on is behind? Like, it's also useless. I'm so sick of it. Ban it.
There is a degree of that.
I'm just answering a patron and members super chat. Patron and member.
I mean,
it's very curious to me. I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat for a fucking second here. Very curious that out of nowhere, that Patreon member just happens to be someone you in this show quoted as being a very good friend you've been playing.
He's a very good friend. I've always said that
about
Jason.
It's just weird that he's asked you, and you've just happened to have had a DM. Tinfoil hat. I think there's a conspiracy going on here. I think this is a setup.
A DM.
You happen to have a DM for the very thing that he had the super chat for. I find
this DM is nearly a month old, and I said nothing. This DM is nearly a month old, and the funny thing is, in this DM, they're like, say something, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to say anything.
Wise. Wise man.
Because most
You know
leakers are
why?
there to push their agenda.
I got told a month ago to say something about this, and I was like, no. And they're like, why? I'm like, because, man, then everyone's going to come for me saying, oh, you're just doing more negative stuff about an Xbox game. So I said no. And that was nearly a month ago. This is Jason asking.
I know, but
didn't say
this is the thing, right? If that game is real, and if those developers are working on it, and you splurt out something that may or may not be true, right? It affects that team. It sets expectations, and already before they've even had a chance to say a word, they're on the back foot. So maybe let's just sit on that for a little while and move on to the next topic. The answer, Jason, is we don't know. Because nothing's been confirmed in any way, shape, or form. And I think that is a fair approach to take.
I'll tell you when we play Rocket League later, Jason.
There you go. That's fine. You can do that all day long.
I'll tell you later when we play Rocket League.
All right. Well, hey, we want to get more spicy. Let's get more spicy. Circana are out, and they're talking about all of the results for June. And hey, Xbox hardware's down as expected. But so
Yeah, I
is
wonder why
everything
that
else.
is. They're doing such a bang-up job trying to sell that console. I wonder why it's down.
Talk to us, Nick. Talk to us. Tell us how you feel. Jesse and I will brace ourselves.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Come on. That's good. If you're watching this show for the first time, the last time the Halo TV show came up, things got a bit heated. I think we've done that discussion literally to death. So,
Jason, with another super chat. Hey, me again. Quick one. Do you have any thoughts on the Halo TV show being shelved?
oh dear. Is that Jason? Hey, what's he up to? Hey, honestly,
shit.
honestly.
I like that. That's good.
Oh,
I put a
I
tweet
love
up
this show.
from Matt Piscatella. June video game hardware spending fell 37% when compared to a year ago to $287 million, and finished the first half of 2024 31% lower versus year average. During the first half of 2024, Switch hardware declined 48%, while PlayStation 5 declined 28%, and Xbox Series fell 18%. So for the first half of the year, it has fallen the least, but it had the shortest distance to fall.
Yeah, because it sold the least.
So none of them are selling hardware, mostly because most people don't have any fucking money.
Yeah, the economy is pretty rough out
This
there.
is first half US only for hardware.
I understand that, Jesse, that they're all down. I get that, but you do understand why the context is different for Xbox versus the other two, yeah?
No, don't care.
No. The Switch has sold 150 million. So if it's down 46%, okay.
No,
It's
it
fair.
Sold
But
150,
for
sold
them-
150 million.
But for them, that doesn't matter. How did it perform compared to last year? That is actually all that matters for all three.
You're right in that the Switch is saturated now. It's end life. Right? It's running out of steam, and it's understandable because everyone that kind of wants a Switch has probably already got a Switch or several
Probably got,
Switches in
and
your
maybe
case.
multiple Switches.
In your
like
case,
I bought like
Xbox
6 over the
edition.
generation. Yeah. 6 or 7.
Like, I lent my Switch to my son, and it came back and he's fucking
Tom
scratched all
Warren
the
booed
screen.
you, by the way. He said
I
show
think
the
did he-
DMs.
John Warren booed you two.
John Warren,
Wouldn't
I
have
don't even know
been
who that
me.
is.
A combination of two very handsome gentlemen.
Would have booed you two.
Yes, they would
Not
all
me.
like to sell more hardware.
I'm
I agree.
waiting for my Discord to go bloop from Tom.
Yeah, it's interesting as well. More in the chat. PS5, people are waiting for the Pro. Like, what is going on with that?
Probably
No,
September,
but I
most
saw
likely.
something. I saw something online about it. So this isn't me now. I saw something on Twitter or somewhere about the PS5 Pro where there was someone using, and this must have been a leak. There's my Discord. I just heard my Discord and saw the number 1 pop up. Is that Tom? Yeah, it is. I saw something on Twitter that someone revealed or leaked that on the PS5 Pro, this game that was 1278p on PS5 is now 1726p. I'm like, is that it?
Yeah,
I'm like, is that so? It's just running at Series X resolution, is it?
It's what the PS5 Pro seems to be is higher resolution to more match Xbox or beat it, and better ray tracing built into it, and then their own version of upscaling. But I think a lot like 3D audio, their own version of upscaling is not going to be ahead of DLSS or FSR or Intel's version.
Not worth it. The PS4 Pro was worth it. The PS4 Pro was 100% worth it, and the One X was 100% worth it. Yeah, the One X still holds its own, even now.
Yeah, it's
they were both worth it. The PS4 Pro, I loved it.
There was a lot more GPU bottlenecking before. These CPUs are just better by default.
This doesn't sound... The PS5 Pro doesn't really sound worth it. If all the games are going to do is keep up with the Series X versions, then...
Yeah, that's...
Okay.
Well, it's not even that. Great. It's like a minor leap in fidelity. Maybe more 60 FPS modes. And I get it if you're a console-only player, but for another, $600? I mean,
but this is what I'm saying. The PS5 is already running most games at 60 as it is. Resolution hasn't mattered this generation, and Digital Foundry made sure of that resolution hasn't mattered. So if that's the case, what's the Pro for?
Yeah.
The CPU's already good. The PS5 barely has any 30 FPS games. Probably got less 30 FPS games than the Xbox does. So what's the point of the
they're
Pro?
Probably pretty similar now, because outside of Hellblade, everything's gone 60 for first party.
But what I loved about the PS4 Pro was that we started getting 60 FPS upgrades for everything. And same with the One X. We started to just get 60, 60, 60, 4K, 4K, 4K. With this, resolution bump. Some more reflection.
It's the main thing. The main thing is they're going to try and push, supposedly, is the ray tracing. That's going to be number one, which people don't care about.
Yeah, you're right, Salva. I'm sure Digital Foundry will suddenly care about resolution.
Well, that's going to be the thing. What are people going to talk about? It's whatever the PlayStation 5 is better at, people will talk about, and it will be important. And if it's not actually that much better at it, it won't matter as long as it's just a little bit. Because technically, they run pretty much the same, is the saying everyone has, even if Xbox has a 10% jump, which used to be everything last gen. So
used to be.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. People are just going to... It's the whole thing. You're trying to use logic to dictate what is important in conversation to people who don't care. They do not give a shit. They just want to push their agenda, so they will always find a way. They will always move whatever goalposts they need to. It's most of the internet.
Yeah. I saw a chat pointing out that Sea of Thieves outsold Helldivers 2 on PlayStation 5. Good for Rare, I guess. Is that right? I'm looking at the...
Sorry?
Oh, it's been one of the top ones.
Sea of Thieves outsold Helldivers 2.
Yeah, I'll bring up the thing again.
Really?
Just for the month. Helldivers 2 is the best
still the top selling game of the year, yeah.
Yeah.
No accounting for taste, I guess.
Yeah, it's interesting because Sea of Thieves is down at number 15 on that top selling game of the year, but,
Well, you got 1 month versus 5 or something, because that was the main top. Top selling premium game, Sea of Thieves, has outsold it 2 months in a row now, not just one. If you look at it here, Sea of Thieves is number 6. Last month it was number 3. Helldivers 2 is number 9. Last month it was number 5. So
yeah,
good legs on Helldivers 2 for not having much new content.
Yeah, I love Helldivers 2. It's a great game.
It is when you're in a crew. It is when you're in a crew.
And Nick's not blowing us all up.
I did it one time, and you guys killed me once.
We should do another. We should do another 3 or 4 player live stream of.
I don't have it installed.
Yeah,
Helldivers 2. Maybe sometime soon. It'd be fun.
Sure.
outside of those results, so hardware's down across the board. Lots of panic about Xbox's number. Surprisingly little focus on everything else. But whatever's. I can understand for Nintendo. But...
I get it, but like that's a big drop for a console that already wasn't selling much. Like, you have to understand the context. It's easy to go, yeah, PlayStation 5 was down too. It's like, yeah, okay, but they've sold 60.
Sold a load. Yeah, you can't. Microsoft need to improve in that, but how can they? I guess
when they're upping the prices in regions they don't sell in.
Yeah, but that's different, and like that's because the yen itself in Japan is completely tanked. So of course they're going to. Why would they just? Oh no, we'll just lose money. Like the yen is down.
Lose what money? No one's going to buy the console.
Then what does it matter?
You can't lose money on something you don't sell.
Well, there you go then.
The inventory's already there. The inventory's already there. It was already there. They're not shipping new Xboxes to Japan. But they haven't sold the ones they shipped back in 2020.
But they'd be bought at this weaker yen, and they would get less money from that.
They already got the money from retailers. Isn't that how Japan retail works? They get paid when those consoles ship to retail back when they ship.
I don't know.
No idea.
I'm not going to pretend to know.
In Australia, the when Microsoft ships an Xbox to EB pays at that time. If a price drop comes later, that doesn't affect Microsoft. It affects EB, who's already paid for it.
No idea, mate. I don't know how retail works. I've had the good fortune to not have to work for very long in direct.
It's gone from costing the equivalent of $450 to $450. It has only gone up because the yen is weaker.
But it's the optics, right?
It is.
It's the optics.
It's the optics of the Xbox fans who are the most toxic motherfuckers on the planet, and I can't stand it.
I mean, this goes back to that hot take I spat out earlier. Sometimes, like, are you living in Japan? Like, do you have an Xbox? Does this affect you? If the answer to all of these questions is no, why do you care? Like, genuinely, why is... Like, I can understand caring about the health of the platform.
Do you have 5 hours?
It was the same thing with Brazil when the Series S went up and Phil was like, just the cost and everything, it's still our cheapest when you actually bring it over. It's just there's nothing we can really do about it, and I haven't heard a peep since. It's like it'll be fine. It sucks. Yeah. I feel bad for people that were going to buy it.
Man. It's just the
6 of them.
But yeah,
Nick's got his samurai outfit in the back off, and he's
Sometimes it's not worth the meltdown. Sometimes it's not really worth the rage. Like, there are plenty of things to get mad at Microsoft about.
It's almost never worth it.
It's not much point. But hey, I'm just a Xbox fanboy defender.
I called you out on Twitter about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a complete crazy person in that regard.
And wasn't most of their improvement, or not solely due to ABK, but wasn't ABK like mostly responsible for?
Absolutely. Xbox content and services revenue was up 61%. The heavy lifting there was absolutely done, like ABK. 40% of it or something. I can't remember the full numbers now. I'm just trying to catch up on the article. But I think even without ABK, they still grew within what their expectations would have been without it, like by 4 or 5%.
Which is one thing brought them overall. If there was no ABK, I think they would have been down like 3 total from everything for the division. So there were things that were up and they were not expecting to be. But then overall, they were down about 3%. But hey, they bought a thing to make a bunch of money, and it has. Except for it still costs a lot of money to integrate it, so they didn't actually make any money from it.
Yeah, it's going to be a while before they're in the, running everything in the way that they want.
It's like, why are they cutting costs so much right now? It's because integrating APK costs so much money that they're not making any money as a division right now. They're making a lot of it. They're not keeping any of it. If they weren't doing the integration, they'd be keeping a lot of it. Their margin seemingly would be okay. But as they are in the process of finalizing their integration, costs a lot.
Should never have bought it.
It's the thing that will guarantee they exist forever. It really is.
But in what capacity, man?
That's right.
The only
What, without a
capacity
console?
anyone that isn't Nintendo can, because they're always going to have a console, because that's where Game Pass is. Game Pass won't be anywhere else ever. Why would any other one? Why would Steam or PlayStation or Switch want Xbox first-party Game Pass on there?
So they can get a cut of it?
It could only be first-party. It couldn't be what Game Pass is with all the third-party stuff, which is what really powers it. So you're going to have like 17 versions of Game Pass, or you've got this is just the first-party stuff we're allowed to put on here.
Mind you, with the whole handheld kerfuffle on the horizon, pause for a moment. Big shout out to the lovely Kay Asante. If you haven't read his thoughts, insights, and ideas on where Microsoft are going, he published his first full Kay Asante opinion piece on XboxEra.com earlier this week. So if you haven't read it, go give it a read. It's a really good read, and I'm very pleased for him because it was a very hot topic. It was one of the best performing articles of the week. In fact, if not the best.
I think it was number one. Yeah.
And but on that point, you know, we've talked a lot over the last few months about sideloading Steam, right? And you know, you just mentioned Microsoft will never Steam will never allow Game Pass onto their platform, right? But what if there's a deal? And this is just pure conjecture, but what if there's a deal being struck? It was like, hey, well, we're building this machine, and you know, the fee for you having, you know, Steam on it is going to be X, but hey, we'll reciprocate, and you know, we'll bring you this and we'll give you a cut of Y. Like, I wonder if stuff like that and conversations like that are being thought about when it comes to these side loading of other stores, right? Yeah, of course, right? So you'd think. So I do wonder what future is going to hold for folks, because Steam is an absolute powerhouse when it comes to PC gaming. You can't deny it. It is the monopoly in the PC store market, right? There is no other
mid 300 people working on it somehow. Just crazy to me.
It just keeps rolling, and it's cheap to run, but it makes them a shit ton of money. So is there a way to leverage that? And you know, by putting Game Pass in somewhere in that realm, does that get more folks interested and intrigued? I don't know. I don't know the answers to these questions, but I do look forward to finding out.
If you have PC Game
these
Pass,
kind of conversations are going to happen,
and then you have PC Game Pass for Steam, like, and it gets way too. I think it just gets way too complicated, because there's no way Microsoft wants to pay them for everyone that gets Game Pass Ultimate, because that gives you PC Game Pass. Yeah. But then in that system, would they have to? Like, it gets very complicated when everything starts costing a ton of money.
Interesting times.
And I will say, I agree with Mort in chat. I think for me, on the most part, I am just so tired. I don't care about the business side nearly as much as most. I just really like playing games and reviewing them and that type of stuff. I find that really interesting. And I find this stuff to just be mind-numbing.
Yeah,
overall.
I don't care about the business stuff either.
I
don't care about Microsoft's pockets. I don't care about Microsoft's pockets. They're trillionaires. I don't give a shit. I just care when it could potentially affect what I want. That's all.
Yeah. We're only human. That's absolutely fair point of view to have.
Even if you're Australian.
I do want to call out a public service announcement and some commiserations for YouTube member Ben Angelo, who is stuck at work. And he says, hey, I'm sorry, guys, I'm working today. But he does recommend everybody like the stream. And I haven't seen Cheeseworks in here. So in honor of him too, like the stream, y'all, hit that thumbs up button. It really does help us out. If you really love what we do, as always, friendly reminder, you know, I'm not a sales guy. Used to be. Friendly reminder, head over to patreon.com/XboxEra. Because, you know, as we've seen with the closure of Game Informer, which is, that's 33 years that magazine's been rock and rolling.
That feels like GameStop closed them. I'm not saying they did. I'm saying it feels like they closed them out of spite.
Almost like cutting the website off, no history, no being able to pull your work off.
It feels. I'm not saying they did, because why would any business do that? But it feels that way. It's like, you know what? We're failures. Fuck you for being successful. We're going to shut you down.
Even worse
That's how
than
it
that.
feels.
Even worse than that. If they thought, this is running at a loss, we don't want it anymore. It is a valuable, respected
Sell
IP.
it off. Sell it
You
off.
could have sold it. Yeah, you might not have made, but you would have made something to
Sell
just
it off.
close it out of the blue.
It feels like
Absolutely
spite.
insane.
It feels like spite.
And just seeing the reaction, there were GI employees on flights for work for topics of a magazine that was 70% ready to print. They didn't even give them the chance to share a last issue.
And they now have blocked off access to the website, so they can't even get their work to put in resumes to apply for jobs.
It's fucking awful.
Scumbag behavior. That is scumbag behavior from a scumbag company.
Yeah, I think their days are numbered, right? Fuck you, GameSpot.
Stop.
Sorry.
Wow.
I misspoke. I'm not doing a Phil. Was it a Matt Booty?
Tomorrow's fan's going to kick you in the balls when he sees your
I always
Gamescom.
get them so confused. Screw you, GameStop. And GameSpot, you should probably look to change your name or something. It's a little too close to comfort.
Too late.
I always just are they the ones that own? It always gets me going. But on a very serious note, support independent games journalism. All right. And I it's weird. I was drinking my coffee this morning, laying in bed. My kids were having their breakfast downstairs, and I was ruminating on the state of the industry and all of these different things happening. And I think, and I don't know if I've said this before on the show, but I probably have. The way that these old guard websites operate, we've seen it. We've seen them closing down. We've seen things aren't good enough now to make money.
Seen them turn to clickbait and SEO
guides,
farming and
all of that jazz, right? And I think the smart ones that are really thinking about what gaming is becoming through streamers, through influencers, and all that jazz, is realizing that in order to truly survive, you've got to build a direct connection to you guys, which is what we do. Right, we build a direct connection, but we're not just a YouTube channel. We build a whole platform for everybody to go and join in the forums, participate in the Discord, interact with each other, and build a genuine community. And if some of the sites can do that, and it was cool to see VGC, right? They're an independent site. Yes, they're partnered with Gamer Network, but Andy Robinson and the team they've been in the industry for a very long time. I think that they are very, very smart to realize, well, hang on, we need to be more than just words on a page now. If we're going to survive, we need to actually be on camera, speaking to our audience, interacting with them regularly, providing more so that they recognize the value. And I think those are the outlets that are going to survive predominantly. But the ones that just stick to just writing opinion pieces and sticking to the content farm, eventually they're just going to die off. But there you go. That was me. I've wrote this really long Twitter thread, and I was like, fuck it. I can't be bothered to post this shit. I just thought I'd speak it out loud. But yes, there you go. What else? Brief mention, because it was mentioned. It's in my notes. I think we covered it on headlines on Thursday. But Fallout absolutely did some serious magic for Bethesda and Microsoft as a whole, spurring a near 5 times jump in hours played for the entire franchise on Game Pass since the TV show release, which was watched within its first 2 weeks by 63 million people.
So what you're saying is that a good TV show can have a positive effect on the game?
I'm not going down this route. I'm not
really.
Stop.
That's it.
Oh gosh, I can't hear anything. All right, John, on to the next topic.
Wow. Blow me down. A good TV show can make people want to play your game.
Yes. There you go.
How's that?
But fun times nonetheless. Good for them. Very happy for them. What else have we got here? Microsoft did detail their Gamescom plans, and as always, big thank you to you lot, because thanks to you, thanks to the contributions you've made, thanks to your super chats, your donations to our subathons and our big PayPal target, which we had a goal of raising $8,000 in UK money to enable us to all go. And I think through the combination of YouTube and super chats and donations to that, we've pretty much hit it. So we owe you a big thank you, because yes, it's booked, it's on target. This team are going to Gamescom, and we have got so much booked in the calendar that Nick is annoyed that it's turning into a work trip. There is a lot to do.
It's a long way to fly.
It's a long work, Nick.
Yeah,
it's a little tiny bit of work, and I think I've talked us into some of the cool stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely.
Yeah, I got your email. I got your email about the Gun Fu game.
Spine.
Oh, I'm tempted with that one.
Please do, because I have not got the time now in the calendar to be able to go see it myself, and I really want to. I'm
tempted with that one.
I'm
do it.
Really
I'd love
curious
to see
what it
your
looks
thoughts
like as a real game and not a bullshit CG thing.
Please, reply and get yourself booked in and add it to the Gamescom calendar. But, seriously, this community, you guys enabled that. It would not be happening without you. And, I can't wait for Monday, because there's going to be even more to talk about with you guys. And it's all thanks to you.
And then only a week or so after that, I'm flying out. I'm leaving the country for the first time. Hopefully my back
exciting.
Hold on.
I am so hyped to actually see you guys in the flesh.
I appreciate the nice comment, Mort, but I have to say, what work? I don't understand. What work?
It doesn't have to be writing or doing videos. It can just be hanging around and talking about what you saw in our replacement podcast. And thank you, Carl.
Do work.
Have fun.
Come on, Nick. Go reply to that Spine email. Get yourself booked in.
Yeah, when I saw that email, I'm like, I wouldn't mind going to see that Spine, because I saw that game on Twitter and I was like, man, this game looks fucking cool.
Also, I hope to God that that's not an embargoed thing, because we probably shouldn't have been talking about it publicly anyway. But fingers crossed.
I haven't talked about anything.
Let's not make
that's
a big...
I've said that cool
let's
thing.
not go big deal about it.
Yeah. But so in case people are wondering, on next Saturday's podcast be a super special one, because SecretProject will be announced on Monday at noon Eastern US, 5 p.m. British time. Then we'll have a in-person podcast the following week when we are all in London. That is only 2 shows away, John.
August 17th, baby.
And then August 24th, we won't have a live show, but we will do our damnedest to record something in our hotel room the last day we're all there before we leave. Yeah. And then we'll premiere that at the normal time on Saturday so everyone can hang out and chat. And I should be home by then, so I'll try and hang out.
Yeah, there's so much to do. So please excuse us if things are a bit wobbly and a bit fractured, but it's a huge endeavor for us, especially for a tiny little independent team, and a massive risk, frankly. I'm looking at the XboxEra bank balance with a mild amount of panic, especially for me. But really, really grateful, guys. You guys are amazing. So big thumbs up to all of our patrons, all of our YouTube members, and anyone that supports us the way that you do. But yes, Microsoft have released their Gamescom plans, but I'm going to stop because Nick's having a minor freak out, and we should probably.
ID at Xbox email came in, and he wants us to take a couple of bad games. Era the Acrobat is shit. Star Wars Bounty Hunter is not very good. Enjoy them. I wasn't going to hand those out to people. I don't want to hurt them.
You're a terrible person, Nick. Right. Anyway, I'll move on then.
Yes.
Now, interestingly, out
Free
of
games.
Microsoft's Gamescom plans, there was a bunch of accidental things in here that made no sense. They put Descenders 2 in there from Mike Rosendale's team. What's
Giant
the publisher
robots
called?
thing. God damn, I can't. No more robots.
No, I always confuse it with No More Robots.
Yeah.
But Descenders 2 isn't a thing. It doesn't exist. So that's incorrect. They also said that Arc 2 would be there. We haven't seen that since 2020 in the Vin Diesel trailer. It is also not there. What is there?
Yeah, no more robots.
I'm a dickhead. I'm a dickhead.
Well, we all.
I mean,
agree
don't worry
with
about it. We're not going to talk about it now.
News.
But you know how we were talking about what have we been playing?
Yeah.
I forgot a game I've been playing. I don't want to talk about it now. I can't believe I've been playing Valorant.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because it wasn't
I was playing bloody
Valorant
and I got it off the US website. It's not available in Australia, Valorant, for some reason. So I just attached it via the US website.
It's still considered like an early launch, and so it's only in places they have servers ready to go because they want people to know.
There's a server in Sydney.
I don't know.
I'm playing in Sydney.
You tell me. That's the reason they didn't do it before.
I can't believe I forgot. I have been playing a new game, and it's bloody Valorant. But yes, I guess I'll talk about it next week then.
And Nick, keep an eye out. All the Arrow games are going to come by October. One in September, one in October.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're all bad. So enjoy them. I'm not handing those out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of chat like, hey, we should change the email address so you can't steal games. Maybe we'll do that.
I'm not stealing them. I'm not stealing them. I tell Jesse. I tell Jesse first. Thank you very much.
You only steal them directly from the community.
I steal them from patrons.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
I only steal them from the community. I don't steal them from those emails. I let Jesse know. And to be fair, when Zach Riley gave me this war of mine, I said live, I wonder if I can grab that. And no one else grabbed it before me. That's not my fault. Hey, this game looks cool too. I'll take that code too.
Right, stop interrupting me, you wanker. Right. Moving on. What games are going to be there? Age of Mythology Retold, Ara, History Untold, Diablo, Vessel of Hatred, Fallout 76, The Elder Scrolls Online, Towerborn is going to be there. They're also hosting exclusive theatre presentations for Avowed, Indiana Jones, and Starfield Shattered Space. That's a lot. Blizzard will be there for the first time with Xbox, with World of Warcraft and Diablo. The Xbox booth will have playable titles from third-party partners, including Star Wars Outlaws, Space Marine 2, Atomfall, which we saw.
British
the
Fallout
June showcase.
Almost. Yeah, from Rebellion.
Oh, I had one of those moments where a burp was coming, and I was like, "Come on!" And then it just went away. And Stalker 2 will obviously be there as well, which we know now is delayed into November. We've got Squirrel with a Gun, which I probably have to go on. Yeah, Winter Burrow, the little mouse survival game. Creatures of Ava, which I think is on its way to Game Pass soon enough.
Yeah. It releases on the 7th. I'm playing it now for review. Keep an eye out for that next week. Boy, I did not get a lot of time with that when it came in on Friday.
So there's lots going on. It's all going to be accessible for everyone, so that's their mantra. I think it's the whole Gamescom mantra now, so it's all wheelchair accessible and all of that jazz. And they have multiple ASL and German sign language interpreters and audio description tools for folks who are blind or visually disabled, etc., etc. So really, really a good effort from them on an accessibility front. And they'll be doing some live shows, but you don't want to watch them. You want to watch our live shows because we're going to be streaming and doing a load of stuff from the show floor. It will be on mobile. It will be in short form, quick hit type stuff.
And we'll see how StreamYard works. If our B&B internet is good enough to just do a basic bitch StreamYard setup.
Yeah. And what I'll do is I'll tell Jesse my thoughts and he'll do it.
I'm not going to be there making videos. The work is going to see stuff and then just talking about it, Nick. I didn't say we had to write everything down and make videos right away. When we get home, if we want to write down things and make videos, especially for anything that's embargoed.
Yeah,
I'll tell Jesse and John and they'll do it.
You'll find with the larger stuff that there'll be embargoes and, hey, talk about this at this time frame and on this date. And that means you just got to, sit yourself down and write down your thoughts, make it coherent. But one thing I would like to do is do like YouTube style, just mobile phone camera shorts. Got a couple of little clipped microphones so we can all wear them and talk. They're just Bluetooth battery powered things.
Got to get those Rode ones.
You don't need them, mate. These are perfectly adequate. but we can then take those shorts and mush them together in like a big Gamescom tour video, which is something I might do when we all get back. And yes, Microsoft are doing FanFest on Wednesday, August 21st. So if you're in the area and you want to,
are we going to be at the Xbox show?
We can go to their booth.
There is a show,
but for FanFest, I'll see if there's anything. But no, they made it clear FanFest is only
for fans.
For fans, it's through the drawing, and that's it.
We're fans.
I know, but we're also accredited press. Not you, but myself, Redragon, John are.
Yeah, I mean you can enter it, Nick, and technically you're not accredited.
You and
press.
Ursula are there with regular tickets, so feel free.
And I would recommend you do. And if anyone hasn't been to a fan fest before, it's absolutely worth going. You get a much smaller group, and the booth is just yours to just explore and play. Everything.
What if I see Phil, I'll just be like, dude,
buddy,
just get me in. Just get me in.
Maybe curry favor with the gods.
Let's up the quotient of attractive people that don't have BO issues.
Yes.
That shower.
Morte will let Nick in to beat him up and get his sources.
Yeah.
So because
you'll find yourself to the chair.
They'll put my phone to my face to get in, and they'll be like, okay.
I think where's his Discord? Let's find this. Oh, jokes. Arthur one in the chat. Where is all this taking place? This is in Cologne, Germany. Yes, in Europe. So yeah, it's a lovely city. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't believe after 5 years, I'm actually going to be seeing you guys face to face. It's going to be such a good laugh. I'm genuine. This feels like a little bit of a lads week as well, like a lads weekend kind of thing, but with some nerdy video game stuff in the mix. So absolutely hyped. But yes, there you go. I did see in the chat as well that Descenders 2 does exist, according to Kevin. They were trolling or joking.
Because it's not going to be called Descenders 2. It's going to be called Descenders something else.
Oh, okay.
Are they going to pull a goat sim and just go straight to Descenders 3?
No, there was rumors about it might be what the word might be, but yeah.
Descenders
it would be really funny
fast.
if Goat Simulator 2 came out as the next game. The prequel to Goat Simulator 3.
Oh, hey, Visceral.
Yeah, Visceral's there in the chat as well.
New patron member.
I know, joined the Patreon.
And
really
person
appreciate
who
it.
I know who they are, but not sure if they want me to out who they are.
Yeah, don't.
Yes, just remember, even if Nick doesn't do any work, you've got myself, John, Ursula, and Pre-Drag all going. So
yeah,
my work
plenty to
will
do.
be presenting this.
But if you don't make
Germany.
any videos or anything, the fans in chat don't give a shit.
I'll take selfies and post them from the XboxEra Twitter
drunk.
account.
Mm-hmm.
No, that won't happen. I don't drink.
I know.
Funny thing is, my mates used to all see it as a challenge because I was so staunchly against drinking. They used to all be like, oh, we want to see you drunk because we reckon you'd be hilarious drunk. And I was like, I don't know.
I've always found I've been able to have enough fun without being drunk.
Yes, correct. My personality is fine without alcohol involved.
The only time it gets really irritating is when, that point in the night when they're all really drunk and they start grabbing you and singing fucking heavy metal lyrics in your face because they're pissed off.
Their breath fucking reeks.
Yeah, and you're just
alcohol.
Fuck this, I'm out.
Stinks of alcohol.
Yes.
It's gross.
Yeah. Anyways, Gamescom, we owe you guys. Thank you so much for making it happen. Next up in the news, and this one's another big one because this was the big story this week. It's everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Bungie sent 155 people to Sony Interactive Entertainment. They partitioned 40 off to make a new studio for a mobile game, and then they fired 220 plus workers from Bungie.
You'll never convince me that wasn't a shit buy.
Yeah, they vastly overpaid.
And you'll never convince me that wasn't reactionary. You
Yes.
will never be able to convince me that wasn't a console war-driven reactionary buy.
maybe, right?
They were like, oh, they bought Activision. We've got to fucking do something. By Bungie.
Supposedly they were really sold a bill of goods that Bungie could not actually follow through on with leading their live service ambitions. Like Bungie was supposed to be the ones that were going to teach them how to do it, and it turns out Bungie didn't know how to do it themselves because they were trying to do that Bungie magic thing, which just means plan poorly and then work your really talented people to the bone.
The amount of shit I got when for years I told you all, Xbox fans included, that Bungie fluked Halo. That they fucking fluked Halo. They weren't the studio everyone thought they were, and you all gave me so much shit for it. I'm like, guys, they fluked it. I watched those Halo 2 Vidocs. They spent most of Halo 2's development mucking around playing multiplayer. And then they were like, shit, we've got to make a campaign. And then they realized last minute they got to make a campaign. Come on, man. Been telling you all this for a decade.
I don't necessarily agree that Halo was a fluke, because Destiny, regardless of my feelings about it, the way it felt to play was still fantastic. It wasn't my kind of game. I have no interest in grindy, repetitive lines of service stuff, really. But I did post a tweet, funnily enough, which Sony fanboys just jumped on. And my point was, Bungie, when they were with Microsoft, Microsoft is so mean and they're horrible and they're ruining us, so we need to be independent. Okay, guys. All right, cool. We partnered with Activision. Years later, Activision are really mean and horrible, and we need to be independent. And then they partner with Sony. Obviously, they're bought by Sony, and now this has happened. And it's like, you look back to that Halo 2 Vidoc, and you look back to the talk of the crunch and how demoralizing it was for the team. And granted, Bungie employees and Marty O'Donnell on Twitter, who was like, Microsoft is still the reason, because Pete Parsons was a Microsoft hire. We'll get to Pete Parsons in a sec. But maybe, I'm just floating this out there, maybe Bungie leadership was just always a bit fucking all over the place, right? And Microsoft with Halo 3, after Halo 2, were like, we're going to be real fucking firm here.
Put them on a fucking leash.
We're going to hit these milestones. And Halo 3 was a fantastic game.
Bungie's two best games are the games where they had fuck all time. And they quickly... The more leeway you give Bungie, the worse the result is. It's always been that way with them. Halo CE came together late. It was a fucking RTS to begin with. And then Microsoft bought them and they're like, let's make it an FPS. And you've got like 6 months to do it.
The only
ODST was whipped up so fast, and it was amazing. The only
reason that the Halo CE pistol is the way it is because of
it's a mistake.
It's a mistake. Code change that they didn't think about.
It's a mistake, and it's the greatest weapon in Halo. It's a mistake. And so many people gave me so much shit when I used to bag, and it's got nothing to do with Sony. I was bagging Bungie when they were under Microsoft. It's got nothing to do with Sony. Sony, again, was silly to buy them for $3 billion as a reaction to ABK. I thought that was silly, because that's what it was, and you won't convince me otherwise. But I've been telling you all about Bungie for so many years, and then you got Mr. Parsons, who's fucking copying it.
I think
Twitter
at this point, kind of deservedly so.
I'm not going to feel sorry for him after what he did to us. I'm not going to feel sorry for him.
Yeah, and granted, let's put a cap in this, right? Granted, the article that XboxEra posted way back,
the opinion piece that we posted.
We found this stuff. It looks like they're also going through some sort of acquisition process. That's all we posted, and it was based off of an existing rumor from Jeff Grubb, right? And we just said, "Hey,
it was a rumor," and we're like, "Oh, we think it could be real, and here are our reasons why we think it could be real." And Pete Parsons is like, "Nah,
this is false." I think was the tweet. This is false, and we had Zed Huge telling everyone to block us, and everyone ripped us apart. Fast forward to the fucking FTC trial.
Turns out Microsoft were interested in buying them.
God.
And then they said they're cooking their burn-through rate is way too high, so we're not going to bother. And it turns out they're not making any money right now.
Pete got his cars. That's okay, because Pete got his cars. Whew, lucky.
I mean, I do find that interesting, Jesse, what you just brought up. The burn rate, right? Microsoft looked... So bear this in mind, folks. Like, you think about the sequence of events here. Clearly, Bungie were like, shit. Come on,
I
come,
did,
and, come
Abdul.
and make some offers. And Microsoft
did.
went to the table and they looked at the numbers and they were like, holy fucking shit, these guys are burning through cash. They went off and acquired Activision Blizzard, right? Timing worked out for them. Sony, when that acquisition was announced, was like, shit. Okay, we're going to do this, right? And I can't help but agree with Nick to a degree because they must have had access to the same info and seen the same problems. Or did they not just do due diligence? I don't know.
Or Bungie said no because they didn't want to be on a tight leash, and they knew Microsoft would put them on a leash. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Because they remembered from the first time around. I'm telling you, I watched that Vidoc for Halo 2 and everyone was like, oh, how cool was that Vidoc? And my first thought was, why aren't they developing the game? Why are they playing so much multiplayer? What are you doing? You've got a game to make. Go back and watch that Vidoc.
I mean, I've
just
seen it
playing
hundreds
multiplayer
of times. But the development process for Halo 2, like that whole engine they built, that whole demo, like the famous E3 demo, it was just too much for the Xbox to handle. And I actually saw a really interesting video from one of the Halo YouTubers, and I can't remember which one. I might say it's like Late Night Halo, but he did a like a video mod where he added back in I think like real-time shadow maps or something to that degree. And you know, like Halo 2 as a game was very flat. Like I vastly preferred the art style and the visuals of Halo CE compared to Halo 2. I was kind of disappointed. Like it was like there was more detail, but everything was really fucking flat. And they added what was the original target of these shadows back in, and suddenly it kind of springs to life. And there are some examples of that kind of shadow tech, early shadow tech, in some of the multiplayer maps where you'll see the what it could look like at its best. But yeah, it's a weird scenario, and obviously hearts go out to like seeing some of the stories. Like there was one woman. Like
she was let go just before her maternity leave was supposed to start.
And she's got nothing.
Oh my god.
Diabolical.
But it's okay. Pete got his cars.
Well, supposedly it's like 3 months of severance and stuff like that.
But it's maternity leave.
Oh, I know.
Like,
yeah.
You know,
it's pretty rough.
Maybe Pete could sell one of his cars to pay for her maternity leave.
Yeah, and that was some of the other stories came out like days before some folks were fired. And I think this was from the previous rounds of firings, like 2 days before. Pete was offering to show people his cars in the lobby of Bungie, knowing that some of these folks was going to be fired. And look, I don't agree with and I think Kotaku did it. They leaped on this because someone on the internet had a look and found Pete Parsons' account on this Auto Trader site, and then effectively pulled out what is Pete Parsons spending his personal money, right? He is within his rights to do that, but in the wider context of things, paying yourself enough to afford what was it, $2.3 million worth of cars? Yeah. What the fuck? And you're seeing 220 people go out on their ass, and Bungie like just absolutely dwarf down, and they're no longer. Sony are in control now. They're on the leash, right?
And in control of what? Luke Smith is gone.
Yep. Never thought that would happen. That was a big surprise.
In control of what?
They are, according to Jeff Grubb, they are banking big time on Marathon.
Can we talk about that? They're banking. Look at the industry. Look at how many live service games come out and fail against the stalwarts. Bungie are banking on Marathon.
And then the one that succeeded was the one you didn't even think would succeed.
Right. An extraction shooter. Like, I mean, I'll give it a go, but I think that they might be barking up the wrong tree with this one.
There are very few live service games that can last. There are no live service games that can last if they do not rely heavily on bringing in IP. Like essentially like just constant stunt casting, bringing in IP, getting you to buy stuff based on it. With Marathon, they can do that a lot
baby.
With their own stuff, like have your friggin' God of War looking outfits and stuff like that. But is it the type of thing where you're going to be able to bring in Marvel and all these other huge IP or old IP or things that will keep people engaged? I don't know.
I will say I had a moment with Valorant. Like, I went into the store and saw some nice stuff, and I was like, oh, I might buy that nice looking gun. And they're not selling Valorant dollars right now. I was like, okay, I'm a whale.
luck.
You don't want my money as a whale.
They've got like $80 bundles in there, Nick. They got your name on it. You get every single
I looked,
skin for a gun.
there was
for
nothing.
Each gun.
Unless it's because I was in Australia and the game technically doesn't exist in
I think
Australia.
you
so I
have to
couldn't
be
get
set to the American store probably to see any of that.
Yeah. But
bad luck, Valorant. No money for you. Fortnite
there were
gets more.
lots of Bungie projects that we kind of found out about, like a scrapped, not Destiny 3, something called Payback, which was turning it into a third person kind of thing.
Did Payback run away?
No, it's cancelled.
Yeah, and
Simpsons
Payback
reference.
was the thing Noseworthy and Smith were working on. It was more of a spin-off, not Destiny 3, trying to be something different and new. And with that gone, it was, essentially it. Then the other thing was the mobile game that people say is a lot of fun. Is it Jelly Bears or whatever the heck the code name for it is? And that's the team that's being spun off for a new studio within Sony Interactive Entertainment. So they're just going to have their seasonal, smaller stuff for Destiny 2 moving forward. Destiny 3 seen as way too big of a risk, and Marathon's it. Everyone that's still there, all 800 plus of them, let's marathon to try and get that out for 2025.
And obviously, Bungie made this deal with Sony with the condition that all of their games would release on multiple platforms. Question: do you think that's going to stay in place? I mean, I'd argue it has to in order for them to survive and make the money. But now Sony are in control. Is that going to stay?
With at least Marathon, it really only makes sense to put out a game like that everywhere.
Right?
You never know, though. I don't know with them.
Well, hold on. Look how successful Helldivers 2 is only on PC and PS5.
And it would have been bigger everywhere, and it's falling. If
it released on Xbox, it would have been bigger again. I'm just saying that I think Sony was already pleased with its performance just on those two platforms.
But that's also way cheaper.
So I suspect that now with them in full control, PS5 and PC is what we'll see going forward. That's just my opinion on the matter.
I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked either way. It has already been announced, but do they change it? But also, Marathon's going to cost probably orders of magnitude more than Helldivers 2 did.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's a lot more to try and make back. That's why Helldivers 2 has been so good for them, is because it wasn't some massive investment, but it's the best-selling game of the year so far. It'll get dwarfed by Call of Duty and stuff later on, but to have it for this long is pretty incredible.
Yeah. And that's what I mean about why excitement of Microsoft forming these smaller AA teams, right? Yes, give me stuff that's a little bit more.
We'll figure out an XboxEra game.
Everything.
I won't get excited about that till I see what they're trying to bring back or do.
Fair, absolutely fair.
Yeah. Interested in the concept, but I need to see it.
Yeah, like Hellblade 2 for me, one of my favorite games of the year. I absolutely adored it, and it's the perfect length, and I loved it from start to finish. And if I can play more short, concise, and I don't mean I just want to play narrative simulator type things with some combat mixed in, but if I can play shorter, curated, hyper-focused, and brilliant experiences from creative teams, I am all in on that kind of stuff. Give me that one of them a month, I'd be hog heaven. Jolly good times. But yes,
I was right about Bungie all those years ago.
Yeah,
I'd like my apologies, please. I got so much shit from Xbox fans, especially. I got shit. Saying that Bungie weren't the studio you all think they are. Funny that, isn't it?
There you go. Last bit of news, though, and this one's another interesting one, and just more weird consolidation in games media. OpenCritic, who we covered this on headlines. OpenCritic, who and I'm just going to be real up front here, who have not replied to a single email request from us in over 2 years asking a variety of questions. OpenCritic, who probably for 90% of certainly for the smaller indie games that come out that we review, Jesse or Sukibrood or myself have had to manually add and create the game's existence.
It's not just smaller games. It is every game. Every single one.
That is weird, but they've been purchased. Congrats to them. They've been purchased by Valnet, owners of Game Rant, with big plans to transform them into a community all coming together,
owns
yada, yada, yada.
Valnet's very big. They own like 40 things. They got like Dual Shockers and a bunch of automotive and other stuff. Like, I think that is one thing we don't push enough, is that we are independent. There's only a few of us left. Most of the gaming websites, are owned by giant companies. There's only a few, like I think True Achievements, like they have their 3 sites. It's just them. That's what
True Achievements is just owned by Rich Stone, really nice guy.
Season Gaming, us, like there's
Iron Lords,
handfuls of Iron Lord. Yeah, there's not a lot left that have websites and do videos and try and do all these things, and like everything's owned by either Future or Fandom or Valnet, or there's like 10 sites in total. Or
IGN,
Ziff Davis.
Yeah,
like Ziff Davis owns half of gaming media now. It's like, if you do like what we do, it's why we push this gosh darn Patreon stuff so much, because we don't ever want to be bought. We want to always be able to do this with our small team, focused.
I wouldn't mind being bought.
Yeah, but you won't have a say over it, because we don't want to be, because being bought is bad, because you see it with every friggin' website. Everyone keeps getting fired. It's not like, oh, we got bought. Yeah. Hooray!
But then I can buy cars like Pete did.
That's the attitude.
I can buy cars like Pete did.
It is a salient point to make. Like, there is such a small amount, and again, and I don't mean this to disparage other.
It's never about the
patrons. It's not about the people. I don't mean to disparage other sites with patrons, but I look at some of these massive ones with these, personalities that are known and loved, and I get it. Maybe you're there just for that person, but then I see their schedule, and it's like his one podcast and us answering some questions, and that's the roadmap for the whole week. And then I look at their Patreon amount, and they've got like 4,000 fucking patrons. I'm like, this is irritating me, because we offer full-on merch. We don't just offer you Discord access and then Discord access and a shout out. We give you a variety of levels to come in, options for everyone, and we produce more content than, I'm going to say, the majority, if not all of them. So bear that in mind when you think about watching us and listening to us and consuming either the forums that we provide, our Discord, the video content that you watch, the weekly podcasts, the twice a week headline show, Sick and Nick's Flicks. Like, we're doing this because we love doing it. We have no desire to be bought out and walk away and just, that's it. We actually want to do this for a living because we love it. So patreon.com/XboxEra. Love you guys. Anyways, that's enough waxing lyrical about that. That is, I think, all of the news. A succinct 2 hours before. That's not bad for us. Not bad at all. I think it's time for everybody's favorite. It's Name a Game.
And no, I did not delete your story, Nick. It was the one about the Xbox price in Japan.
Which
I moved it up, and we talked about it. I just put the explanation in there. So this week is Name a Game. How's everyone doing?
Jolly fun times.
You guys good?
I'm good.
All right. Yeah. So the category for this week's Name a Game is major IPs.
Ooh. Now,
if you guys read the Discord, you know a little bit more about it that I can't say. But major IPs.
Correct. You can't say anything either, Nick.
None.
Act dumb and just say, okay.
Be yourself.
About what?
You look like you're about to be like, what do you mean? Like you look like you're about to ask questions. Oh, okay. I
didn't see anything in
your
the
expression,
community Discord.
No, not community, the Project Discord. Podcast channel.
Oh, I haven't been in that for a while.
Okay. I know.
But before we get into things, obviously, if you're watching right now, Name a Game is a little game show.
I barely
that we like
go
to
in my
play.
own Discord anymore.
I know, I've heard.
On behalf
I
of
barely go in there anymore.
our patrons, who we love and adore, and every week Nick and I act as a champion for random patron members in order to win them a game. This week, Nick, you are playing for Austin T. I can
I'm
tell
playing
you,
for Austin T, and you are playing for Alan Mitchell.
Alan.
Alan Mitchell.
Alan. Playing for Alan. Playing for Alan. Just exactly like that. Alan.
No, it wasn't. We've had this discussion. It was just
like that.
It's just Alan. It's just Alan. There's no rasp. There's no. All right. There's no rasp.
And Austin T is in the chat. He can play along.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
There you go.
he is.
Okay, I feel bad now because I'm going to try and.
Don't worry, Austin. I haven't won in a while, but I've got this one.
All right. John's got a decided advantage in this one. Only you can know why. All right.
Yes.
Number 1.
Wait, buzzing. Okay.
Yeah, you're on there. Oh, you got to open it. Okay.
Yeah.
You all set? All right, let me get the desktop audio
Okay.
so people can hear the buzzing.
Are you putting these in private chat or?
I fucking guess. They're all easy. All of these are pretty
Oh,
goddamn
they're not
easy.
dumb ones. If there's no
No.
stupid ones, then don't
There are
worry
no
about
stupid ones because they're all repeats. All
Okay.
right. Number 1 is designation of obligation. Designation. Nick.
Oh,
it. Call of Duty.
Correct. Yeah, you really should have a look at the Discord real quick just to see what I told both of you days ago.
Wait, hold on. Okay.
Yeah. It won't really help you because you don't do anything, but it helped John, I'm sure. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Number
Okay.
2, as you go back onto Buzzin.
Yeah. I was about to say I was going through like 10 tabs to get the back
Yeah.
to buzz.
so it needs a refresh.
Number 2.
Can't
is-
buzz it. Oh, there you go.
Oh my god, I had
Everyone, chill out.
one word. It is a compound word. The words I've used for this one word answer are Citadel Sunset.
Citadel
So it's a one-word game.
Uno. One compound word, essentially, that I had to use for this one word, which itself is not compound. just one
I'm trying to
word.
think of the clue. I'm trying to think back to the clue.
Citadel Sunset.
Sunset.
Huh.
Oh my god, my phone's ringing. No.
Who's ringing you?
Oh.
Nick.
You said it's a one-word game, didn't you?
One word game. Starting the timer. 8, 7,
Nah, forget it.
6,
I was gonna. The
5.
game I was gonna say is a two-word game.
3.
Fuck.
All right, John, for the steal, you have to buzz if you want to steal.
Man, I'm really
How's
struggling.
chat?
here.
not
Nah,
gotten
I was gonna say Forza Horizon, and then I realized that that's a two-word game.
Actually, nobody in chat's gotten this either. What the fuck?
Citadel.
I can't give a hint
Sunset.
now. Would be unfair.
I'm
'cause
like
it would be-
Horizon, Sunset, Horizon, and I'm like Forza, but how is Forza a city?
Alright.
I'm just sitting there like I can't.
All right, nobody gets the answer, which is Fortnite.
Oh, shit!
Oh, fair. That was a good one. Well
I said
played.
this is the easiest week we've ever had. Don't overthink it.
Wow, I can't believe that.
Nobody in
feel
chat got
ashamed.
it. No, I'm not even upset at you. I'm more pissed off at chat. The fuck? Like I'm
I'm
not
pissed
kidding.
off at
It's an-
me.
It's an
I
easy
didn't
week.
get Fortnite.
I know. It's an easy week. God, that
Crying
was worse
Sister?
Than, yeah, that was worse than Crying Sisters.
Crying brother?
Oh, the shame. Sorry, Jesse.
All right. The next one is also one word.
Okay.
Compound word. I've used a compound word to describe it. It is quarry stem. Quarry. Q-U-A-R-R-Y.
Wait, is this one word? Is this a one-word game?
One word game. Quarry stem. STEM. QUARRYSTEM, sick.
Minecraft?
Correct.
STEM craft.
No, I was doing mine shaft in my head, so it doesn't even work, but you still got it. You can yell at me for that.
Oh,
one being
that's
good.
not fair. That's
He still got it. You didn't get Fortnite, otherwise I don't care.
because I'm thinking craft and STEM. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I didn't.
What?
I did these very quickly a little while ago.
God.
All right. Next one, which does make sense, is 2 words. Those words are thoroughfare trooper. Thoroughfare trooper. 2 words.
Oh,
Trooper.
Most of these are just the IP. They are not a specific game.
Thoroughfare Trooper.
Just the game. Just the IP. Sick.
Street Fighter.
Correct.
Yeah. Thoroughfare
I was
Street
in my head.
Fighter.
Oh, in my head, I'm like Road Warrior. I'm like, what? Road Warrior? I'm like,
Oh dear.
All right. For a potential win or a potential tie, the next one is 3 words, with the middle word just being the word and. It is direct and defeat. Direct. Sick.
Command and Conquer.
Correct.
Booyah! Congratulations, Alan Mitchell. Reach out to us on the Discord
I was going to say
or
that too.
on the forums
That one was pretty
for a game
basic.
code.
All right. To get through
Feels
the
good,
rest
man.
quickly, so
I'm
we
just
can
gonna
get to
relax
our
now.
community
Let
questions.
Nick get all 4.
The
left or
ultimate
whatever.
of ourselves. Sick.
The rest of us?
No,
the last
wrong.
of us?
Okay, correct. If that was for a point, though, I might not give it to you for the rest of us.
I can't believe I completely forgot what that IP's called. It's like one of the biggest IPs in the world.
All right. Next one, doing them quick, is Creator of Conflict. Creator of Conflict. Sick.
God of War.
Correct. Oh my god. Is he doing it? Does he truly believe?
What?
Next one is 1 word. That word is... Well,
Just before you even said it.
take a guess.
I already know what it is.
What is
I already know. And don't you fucking lie and say no, it's Doom.
The hint is...
Don't fucking lie and say it's not.
Okay, I literally showed what it was as you were trying to say it. It is revealed rearmost. That's the compound word for this one word.
Revealed rearmost.
Something just got unplugged.
Revealed rearmost.
Revealed rearmost. And it's 1 word.
Did he say it was 1 word or was it 2 words?
Revealed rearmost. Flashback.
That's a good guess. Well, you've buzzed, so...
Flashback. I'll ask him when he comes back.
Fucking cat. I just
Is
see
it
everything start
flashback?
flickering.
Gone skew with
Is it flashback?
Fucking cunt. I mean, what? It is Outlast.
Is it flashback? Outlast.
Rear
Oh, I didn't even
revealed
get a chance
out.
to do a steal. But okay.
Who cares?
Thanks for buzzing in straight away, Nick. Doesn't really matter.
John wins. He would have gotten it. I'm sure I trust him. All right. The next one is just a single word. That word being catastrophe.
Doom.
Correct.
Hey.
Last one. Real quick.
Mood.
Last one, real quick, is 2 words, those words being sun subject. Sun subject. Sick.
Sun is in S-U-N.
Yeah,
Star Citizen.
correct. There you go. That was our easiest ever name a game. Congratulations to whoever John was playing for. I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry.
Alan Mitchell. You win.
Alan.
You win.
Oop, that's still right. People can see where I
dear,
write the stuff. Sun subject. Hi, there you are.
Short and sweet.
Torn Raptor.
Short and sweet.
Torn Raptor.
Oh, god damn.
Tippius Funky. El Nini. Rip Snorta. El Blanco Pantera. Butterball 8. M2LJ.
M2LJ.
Bill Splate.
Bill Splate.
These are some names. Go, Nick.
Michael Smoley. Aminu John. Octavio Tennant. Joshua H. Guess who? 107. Dave Harp. Jordan White.
Jordan White.
Executive producer.
Heavy Core Project.
Some
Prime
awesome
187. Scows the Boots. GT. Derek Olsthorne. Glenn Sharp.
Oh, thank you, Torn Raptor.
Torn Raptor gifting 20 memberships out of nowhere. What an all of his legend.
Gifted subs and money donated on the YouTubes and whatnot. A big reason we're able to go to Gamescom. Maybe the reason.
Yeah, and arguably earning his grand benefactor. He's literally grand benefacting 20 memberships onto. And do you know what I love about seeing them be redeemed is seeing names I've never seen in the chat. And all I would say to you guys, now that you are part of the chat, do not be afraid to join the Discord, discord.gg/XboxEra. Chat to us because honestly, we're probably quite nice.
Maybe.
I don't foresee any horrible YouTube scandals. Nick, you're worrying me with that expression.
I'm just thinking. I'm just trying to think.
Oh, dear God. Anyway, right. It is that time of the show. There's a lot of interference tonight. I don't know what's going on. Where we pause for a moment and in the spirit of these kinds of things happening, thank and show our gratitude for our wonderful Patreon community. You know, and also
you're laying it on too thick now, John. No one believes it.
They're the best.
They are the best. And if you want to become legend, like those amazing people that make this possible,
like Will Smith,
you can head to patreon.com/XboxEra. And it's also worth shouting that as well as Discord Secret Call Club Kid access, they also get the opportunity to ask a question every week on the podcast in the Patreon lounge on our forums, forum.xboxera.com. Before we get stuck into those community questions, though, a super chat from Jordan Andow.
Jordan Andow, the fun has arrived. What did I miss? Tell me everything. I want to know all your secrets.
I will gladly reiterate for you, Jordan. On Monday at
pinned.
5 p.m. UK time, it is pinned in the chat. There is a premiere of #SecretProject coming your way, and I would go and click that remind me button. I would make sure that you're available at 5 p.m. to watch it live. There will be, I believe, a celebrity appearance on that very day where we're going to lift the curtains on what I have been working on quite fiendishly for far too long a time.
And pre-drag.
And yeah, let's pause for a second. Pre-drag has done the Lord's work, and you'll all see what I mean very, very soon indeed, because holy shit, that guy has cooked. What could it be? I've seen so many great guesses, but Jordan, that's what you missed. Keep an eye out, as well as all the news and the fun and the bants and me completely destroying Nick at Name a Game. Anyways,
damn it, Jordan got it. It is a documentary about all the money Nick spends on microtransactions. It took us years to catalog it all.
We might as well just make it live now, right? It is a deep dive into Nick's addictions and his inhibitions.
That's how I leak all that Fortnite stuff.
And about how Nick leaks.
Because I spend so much money in Fortnite. They're like, dude, do you want to know what else is coming that you're going to give us your money for? I'm like, all right. And they're like, yeah, here's all this stuff. I'm like, sick.
To celebrate all
my
of Nick's
source is
leaks.
epic.
We're going to be showing him leaking for real on his new OnlyFans.
I just want to call this one out. Gary Barwick in the chat, you are really building this one up. Look, I can't guarantee. I don't care. I've worked very hard on it, and I think it's fucking awesome. But yes, I can't guarantee that every single one of you will love it.
Most people in chat will hate it.
I don't think that's true.
Why?
I don't know. He's just being mean. I think most of them will absolutely adore it. And the reaction I've seen from people that have seen it has been one of extreme positivity to the point where I haven't yet had a negative reaction.
I wish I was into that sort of stuff.
Well, maybe.
I
my
never have
friend.
been.
Well, let's before we get too far into it.
I guess you guys know then that it's not a sex act.
Hey, 2 sleeps to go, at least for me. Tomorrow, I'm in full-on waiting mode now at this point. 2 more sleeps. So Sunday, I'm going to try and lay in a little bit, taking the kids out to the park. I'm going to just try and burn the day away, get to bed, and then Monday I'm just going to sit like this and just wait. And I'll probably have a little mental breakdown in the
That's right, Gary. If I'm not into it, it's probably going to be super popular. It's probably going to be like the most popular thing.
One more super chat from Jordan Andal.
Yes, Jordan Andal. Here's my payment towards Nick's therapy for his addictions. Also, Jesse, I beat the Elden Beast last night.
Nice, well played.
That's
That's a good thing. If it's something I'm not into, then fuck, man, this shit's going to be like, massive.
Kevin got it. It is a cutscene.
I'm going to direct quote someone. Someone said to me, and it was, "Oh my god, how has no one thought of this before?" Oh, that's it. That's all I'll say. That's a direct quote from someone.
Edible condoms. We finally thought of it.
No, that would exist. Sorry. Does it? Chocolate condoms? I don't know.
A Greek Melbourne cafe in England.
That's it. It's the Xbox.
I'm going to open it up when I'm up there. I'm going to talk to someone.
Cafe.
I'm going to lease a space in Essex and open up a Melbourne
Essex
Greek infused cafe.
And it will immediately get destroyed
Essex.
by right-wing rioters.
Yeah, right now. Now's not the time, man. Wait until
I'll bash
things calm
everyone.
down.
I'll bash everyone up there.
Oh, japes. Anyway, on with the community questions. Let's go.
Community questions. Oh shit! I'm not even
Jump
in the thread.
in.
Oh my god! I forgot to close it, and look how many questions there are in there.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I forgot to close it last night. I was so busy up watching footy stuff. Okay, first question. LazarWolf. Jesse, can you tell me if Star Wars Outlaws has typical Ubisoft map icon clearing? I'm one of those weirdos that likes that stuff. Well, we kind of semi-talked about this.
So I didn't get to see a ton of the open world stuff because we had the technical issues early. But what I did see, it definitely feels like a full-on giant open world Ubisoft game that you can engage with in that way if you so want to. Absolutely.
Okay. Super chat from Jordan Andau. Nick, you leak other people's things. Why have you not leaked SecretProject? I'm disappointed in you. Because Jordan Andau, I barely ever go in that Discord and didn't know what SecretProject was till like a week ago. And it's already so close now. I didn't know what it was until like a week ago. I don't go in my own Discord anymore, let alone any other Discords.
And the dreams of working at XboxEra would end immediately if you did.
Yeah,
I mostly just stay on Twitter now for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, next question. Jesse Brother. Can't believe it's already August. You gentlemen have Gamescom coming this month, and it has one of my favorite days of the year as well, August 16th. My brother and your number one asset's birthday. My birthday's in June.
It is worth mentioning that it has been made aware of to us that it is Jesse's birthday.
While we're up there.
On the Friday, so I think you land on the Thursday, Jess. So we are aware, and we will be making special plans to celebrate his special day.
Beans on toast. Can't wait.
Yeah, just a cake because it's just a Heinz Beans tower.
Number one
Lovely.
asset. Number one asset.
Yes, your face looks like piss. Number one.
Make no mistake. Number one asset. My question this week is for John. Seeing how it's this hemisphere's hottest month and air conditioning isn't supposed to be that common in Europe, does your home and the place in Germany you are all staying at have AC? I know my brother very much prefers it, so I hope so.
I doubt
it's summer, isn't it? Oh,
It's
thank
summer,
God,
baby.
It's so
Prepare.
cold here.
Does the
It's so
Airbnb
cold
have
here.
aircon at Germany?
It
God,
doesn't
of
need
course
it.
not.
It doesn't need it.
I will be honest with you. Like last year, it was crazy hot in
Oh
Cologne. It was like there was
21.
no, there was some 30-degree days in Cologne.
30. Oh my stars. So
Mate.
hot.
Lovely, but again, you live in a country which has aircon everywhere, right?
I don't use it if I don't need it.
Sure, but you will experience, for folks that have never experienced before, why the British moan is because our houses are made of brick with walls stuffed into it, and we try and keep in all the heat, so it's often quite difficult.
You know, we have insulation and brick houses here too, yeah?
I know you do. But your country is also not as crazy hot all the time, much like us, because you're not on the equator, right? Like Jesse is.
No, but we're hotter than the UK
I know
generally.
I know you are, and you predominantly do have more aircon. We're just not equipped for it because we have like 3-4 weeks of
Man,
nice
I can't
weather.
wait. You know how cold it is here? It was 0 this morning. Like, it's so cold here.
Well, you'll enjoy it, mate. It's been
God.
very, really lovely. It is very, very warm. The good
can't
thing
wait.
is, my house doesn't get too hot. It is well insulated, but it also
No such thing.
It's quite roomy, so it stays quite cool. But it's very nice in the winter because I have underfloor heating. So once you turn that on once in the morning, it just heats the house, and you can leave it off all day, and it's perfect. So I have a very, very firm rule on central heating for my abode, which is it does not get switched on until the 1st of November, and it does not get switched. It gets switched off like without fail, even if it gets cold again on the 1st of April. So there you go.
I'm looking at a website that's comparing Tampa and Melbourne, and on average, we're about 20 Fahrenheit hotter than you because we are jungle.
Oh, I know Florida is. Florida is. I'm talking about the UK.
Yeah.
The
It's been
UK's
very
got
nice
nothing
though,
on
the
us.
last couple of weeks. It's been very, very pleasant. I've enjoyed
They think
the sunshine.
19 is warm.
19's great. Oh, t-shirt and shorts weather, mate. Get your flip-flops out, yeah?
London is
I'm in
on
jeans.
average
I'm in
colder
jeans
than
and a jumper.
Melbourne.
No, I'm joking. 19's like a nice day, but it's not like warm.
On average, you are about 5 degrees cooler than Melbourne, John. Fahrenheit, so like a couple Celsius.
Yeah. You should find it quite comfortable, Nick, hopefully.
I can't be. I'll find it much better than what Melbourne's been.
Yeah,
this winter.
I can't speak for the sleeping arrangements, but thankfully my folks have agreed to at least have the kids for the night of the live show, so we don't have to worry too much.
Nick is going to
on that
whine and
particular
complain, and you will give him your bed because he will not shut up.
I'll sleep on the couch.
There's a spare room and there's a couch, and you know it's a big couch as well. You guys will see. It'll be fun.
I can always get a hotel room as well.
Yeah, if you're paying for it.
And then whine about paying for it.
All right, next question.
I can
I
always
guess.
get a hotel.
Or did we have? Oh no, we had a super chat to interrupt from Jordan.
Oh, do we? Oh, Jordan Endale, Super Chat. I have a genuine question. Who has the most power over XboxEra? Like, who is the Satya Nadella, if you will?
John.
That is an interesting question.
I mean, from a legal perspective, me. I would argue from a content perspective, yes.
It's weird. It's almost all three of us in a weird way.
No.
Yes.
It's nice to think those things, Nick.
It's almost all three of us in a weird way. It's John legally, but then it's Jesse because Jesse produces pretty much all the content, but then it's me because, like, if I go, then who really cares?
Okay, I muted him. On to the next one, John.
The ego on this man.
It's weirdly all three in a roundabout odd way.
Do you know what? To save time, sure.
What a lovely delusion. All
I
right.
am the face. If the face goes, then it's a headless thing.
Like,
I would pre-drag.
Yeah, pre-drag's up there.
Like, holy shit, we wouldn't get the attention we get.
But then
without
Nick's going to point
pre-drags.
out he helped the thumbnail design.
Of course.
You know?
I
He did.
mean, a certain segment kind of got us here. Just saying,
I
but
don't disagree. Also got us a
You
lot
know.
of trouble.
it did. But any publicity is good publicity.
No, I've had to do a lot of reviews I did not want to make up for it.
Anyways,
Just sort
one
of
question.
all three of us in a weird way.
Yeah.
Sure thing,
Next.
Dementus. Next question.
Hi them, G. Hi them.
Hairball.
Oh, that really.
God did that. Oh, dear.
I've seen Deadpool and Wolverine. Awesome movie. And I'm not spoiling it for the ones that didn't see it, but here's my Marvel characters I am, down below. I'm a Deadpool, Ultron, Thanos, Phalanx, Technovore, and Namor. P.S. As for DC, I told you I'm Jack Ryder, a.k.a. The Creeper, but I'm also a Christopher Smith, a.k.a. Peacemaker, Kent Clark Superman from the Injustice movie, and Amanda Waller. Okay?
Cool.
Congratulations on your multiple personalities. Is
I
it
am
Clark
not
Kent?
anyone from any comic book.
Did I say Clark Kent or did I say Kent
No,
Clark?
you said Kent Clark, but he's written
Well, that's
Kent
because
Clark.
that's what I. Yeah, he's
he
written
wrote
Kent
Kent Clark.
Clark.
I'm asking him, isn't it Clark Kent?
I mean,
Like,
you
this
said
is
you don't want to
not a
spoil
special
Deadpool and
comic.
Wolverine. Marvel and all the cast have spoiled it. Like, if you don't know all the cameos by now, you're full on doing this. Like, even the actors and the studio. What? Why are you doing that? If you,
I'm
have you
I'm
muted
looking
me
at
or
the
something?
beautiful chat.
Oh, okay. I'm not spoiling anything. Did you mute me? I'm not spoiling anything. I didn't say anything. I'm just saying that even the
find it funny.
studio has spoiled it.
But yeah, no, they're doing advertising. So
Yeah, like they're all out there now.
man, I keep
They
seeing
had
this
that.
Star Wars Outlaws footage, and I really want to play it.
Yeah, same.
You know what I noticed about that Outlaws footage? Now, there's a font that they use, and it just took me back because all the AFL teams used to use that font. It was the standard font of all the AFL teams in their Shield logos that they used to use. And I was like, holy shit, they're using that old 80s font. I'm like, wow, that's full on. But yeah, like, you don't have to look far. The actors who are playing these cameos were at like Comic-Con and shit like that. Like, it's all out there. It's not. They did a really good job hiding most of them, but now they just don't give a shit. It's all out there. I'm telling you, man, there's one cameo in there. You're just like, holy fuck, that's amazing. You know the one I'm talking about, John. You have to.
Yeah, I think I know the one.
Ah, so good. Next question.
Just as a bonus, because that wasn't really a question from Hythen. He just told us of
Yeah.
everyone he
And
loves.
oh my god, can we
what do we
talk
think
about
of-
Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor
Talking-
Doom?
On the
I-
second Netflix, absolutely. This Friday.
Well, no, come on, Hythen's
That's
he's a bro.
just.
he's
I'm
Patreon.
so disappointed in that.
I think
Um,
it feels kind of desperate of Marvel a little bit. In
It
my
does a little
opinion.
bit, and and I say that as someone who has been wanting Robert Downey Jr. back in the MCU since he died, and I was like,
I'm not. This is not spoiling
Come
it. It's a
on.
casting announcement for an upcoming movie. It's
it's literally, yeah.
I find it weird that they did that because the impact of actually revealing it in the film would have been way more like
Yeah.
what? But
But that's what makes it look like a desperation move.
yeah,
The fact that they're revealing it now.
yeah, come back,
being
and
like
watch
the
our movies
Invincible
again.
Iron Man and being good. Like they bring him back for 2 movies. He probably dies in Secret Wars, and then they have an actual Doctor Doom after they do a full reset because that's what Secret Wars does. It'll be a soft reset for everything, and then you get new versions of everyone.
I got on board with that theory that it was
I know
a
they're saying
scenario
he's Victor
where
Von Doom. It doesn't matter though. You know what he is.
No. There's another theory that someone posted that was saying that there's an alternate timeline or universe where Tony Stark was his roommate and not Reed Richards, and then he fooled him into a mind swap thing. So it was like a kind of like face off. So Tony's body, but he's Doctor Doom in here, and then Doctor Doom, but Tony's in the head. And then he wipes Tony's memory. Tony thinks he's a Latvian peasant or whatever, commoner. But because he's a genius, still builds his way back up and makes a Doom outfit that's Iron Man's coloring and then Iron Man has Doom's coloring. And I got on board for that. I'm like, okay, that's okay, because then we can get him back as Iron Man at the end of the movie. But apparently that was a what-if comic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, if it's a what-if, they're not going to do that in the movie.
There is the story where Doom wants to be a good guy, and he dons Iron Man's suit and tries to be a hero, and all of the other Avengers are like, we still don't trust you, blah blah blah, and he still tries to fight against it, and eventually fails and does go bad again. But
I don't know. I just
meh.
And you're seeing people on Twitter that are like, but Chris Evans played Johnny Storm. It's like, that's not the same thing. Why are you using that as an example? That's not the same thing. Oh, but Brolin did Thanos. Thanos was a CG character, and Deadpool was still part of Fox then in Deadpool 2. Again, not the same thing.
Yeah.
How are these characters going to be like, oh, I'm looking at this same person that's Iron Man as Doom?
I don't know. We'll find out in a couple years.
Yeah, it's going to be a while. Sit tight. But there you go, Hytham. I hope we answered your additional question there.
Anyway, skedaddle. Hey guys, what German delicacies are you looking forward to trying while over at Gamescom? None of them.
I have to admit, I'm looking at this and I'm very, very sad that the Schweinaxel isn't in there. The pork knuckle. At least I can't see it looking around. There is sure a hell of a lot of sausage and bratwurst.
Looks like we'll be eating a lot of sausage over in Germany.
Nothing new for you.
Sausage fest. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. But I mean, there are plenty of good places to eat in Cologne. Like, we'll have a good time. It'll be fun.
I will be enjoying Germany's national delicacy of McDonald's.
Scheiße. Oh.
I tell you what, we do have to go and do if we get the time, which I worry that we won't, but we should try and do. Lindt Chocolate Museum. Yummy.
Oh, do they have one over there?
Yeah, you can eat it as you walk through it.
Yeah, you go through the tour and you get they just dip it into the lint and you just get a little wafer.
I mean, you eat the walls and everything now too. It's all chocolate.
Yeah.
Man, Lindt Chocolate Museum would be fucking sick.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
It's good times.
That'd be cool. Dark chocolate.
Their menu as well.
So much
there's a cafe, mate.
We have a Lindt cafe here in Melbourne.
Oh, yummy, very tasty, indulgent treats. So I think we'll be fine for food. But yes, amusing German menu.
I don't mind the look of that. Erzkek. That Erzkek looks good. I assume it's a cake of some kind. Around the middle, just slightly north of the middle.
Oh, yeah,
right smack bang. Erzkek.
Yeah. I think it's like a jellified custard.
That's right up my alley. I love flan, or as we call it here, creme caramel. But in America, they call it flan.
Flan.
I love flan. Flan. It's so nice. A Buzda. What's a Buzda?
I don't think it's an American thing. I think it's a Latin American thing.
You know, yesterday we went to this restaurant. So there's this comedy group that grew from just doing random Facebook videos, and they're called Sushi Mango. And they're just the modern version of Wogs Out of Work here in Australia. And, you know, they're three Italian guys, and they make fun of Italians and Greeks and how it was growing up Italian and Greek in Melbourne. And they've become massive. They're huge, these three guys. And they've opened up a restaurant here in Melbourne. And the whole theme of this restaurant is that you walk in and it's like you're back in your Greek or Italian grandmother's house, right down to the cutlery and the plates and the decor and everything. And we went there yesterday and it was so good. I was looking around and I'm like, my grandmother still has these plates. My grandmother has these tumblers. She still has that picture on her wall.
Is everything
she used to
caked
have
in
one of those.
cigarette smoke?
She used to have one of those CRT TVs. I used to plug my Mega Drive into it. I'm like, it was like I was at my grandmother's house. It was so good. You got to go to this place. If you're watching and you're from Melbourne and you're watching this show, go. I think it's called Johnny Vince and Sam's. I think that's what the restaurant is called.
By the way,
it's amazing.
By the way, that Erschreck that you liked, Zip, one of our patrons, has actually defined it as the follow-up. It's not really a question. It's just a kind of description of it, which is a layer of cake with a base layer of cake, a middle layer of quark-based cheesecake, and a top layer of vanilla custard. Parts of it are covered with a glaze made of cream, whole egg, sugar, and flour for thickening. The term originates from a piece of 14th century menswear called a shek, I guess, which consisted of a medium-length tunic with a very tight waistline and was worn with a deucing, a hip belt. The cake was named after the something. I can't be bothered to open.
Boy, that sounds nice. I'll have one of those.
There you go. Thanks, Zip, for that little bit of German lore.
Zip, who I think is also a patron.
He is. That's why I'm reading it. I'm reading it. It's the next community question was his definition of this looks really tasty. So, yeah.
Cool. I wasn't on that page. Sorry. All right, next question. Lee Layfield. Hey, guys. Hope you're getting excited for Gamescom. I am, just not the flight. In honor of the 360 era, which was easily one of the greatest eras of all time, what is one of your fondest memories from the 360 that involves friends outside of multiplayer games? For me, there's two. First would be my friend bringing his 360 round days after it launched, playing for hours, only for him to say I can buy it off him for £80 as he's won another 360 and we can play online together. The second would be that same friend coming around as I couldn't beat a level on Banjo Nuts and Bolts, for him to instantly laugh as my screen was so blurry. Turns out I was playing at 480p. He changed the cables, played with the settings, and I was welcome to the world of 720p.
Wow.
Man. God, I remember that, seeing HD for the first time.
Yeah, like plugging in the composite cables, being like,
oh my
like jaw
God.
on the floor. That was pretty cool.
Because I had a Sony. What?
No, it's go on.
I was just going to say, I had a Sony widescreen Trinitron at the time that had component.
Beautiful.
And then I plugged in the component and played Perfect Dark Zero, and I was like, oh my God.
Glistening. Everything glistened.
Oh, and all the bump mapping and all the shininess. And I'm like, oh, this is like amazing. I just completely ignored how shit the game was. And I was like, oh my God.
I was equally in love with cameo elements of power. Like
yes.
Transforming and like all the goblins and stuff. That was very, very cool.
So
times, man.
I played so much Perfect Dark.
I mean, I played a little bit of the multi, but my God, Rare, the aiming in that was like worse than
my God, it was terrible.
It was shockingly bad. But like, it's weird for me. Like my favorite memories, like involve friends outside of multiplayer games. It's kind of a weird one because it got to like 2007, 2006 maybe. And I've been playing with this group of people and I was like, hey, what if I had a LAN party? And 8 people rocked up and it was really weird because...
Was that the first time you had a LAN party?
Yeah, like a proper one. I used to play split screen with my younger brother and we'd have, like, not split screen, like, I wouldn't call it a LAN party back then. It was a system link cable when he had his Xbox in his bedroom and I had 4 mates split screen on my screen when I was a kid, like 2001. And but this was like I had my own flat. And these 8 randos that I'd known for a couple of years online turned up. And initially it was like, hi, John. Hi, Ian. And you'd shake hands. And then it was kind of like everyone forgot their real names. And still to this day, everybody like in that group calls me Sick and not John. Like, and it's, no one calls each other by their real names. It's
I had my
strange.
first LAN party in 2002. Yeah, and it grew and became this annual thing.
Yeah, like System Link, it was kind of like that, but it wasn't the same where everyone had their own machine,
Well, no, I had it where everyone, because my parents' house at the time was fully networked and everything. So we had like full on in separate bedrooms and everything, and we were all playing. And like, man, the peak of it was with the 360, and there was 16 of us all at my parents' house, and we had this FIFA tournament, and oh man, it was so full on, like. Me and my mate Stefan got to the final against these 2 others, and of course everyone was cheering against me and Stefan because it was me and Stefan. But man, it was almost like being at a stadium, like the way the cheering was going and the screaming was going. Like because me and Stefan were down like 2 or 3-0, and everyone's like, yeah, because we were losing. And then we came back and won, and it was only the two of us cheering. No one else was cheering for us.
I wonder why that is. What about you,
God,
Jess?
so
Like
good.
LAN party experience, or
If the question was outside of multiplayer games.
outside
true.
of multiplayer.
Well, outside of multiplayer, like online, but I presume it can include real life
No,
gatherings.
his
right?
things weren't actual multiplayer games, but I was mostly playing World of Warcraft, and the 360 was in my brother's room, so I didn't get to play it that much. I don't have that
Really?
many. That's one of the main reasons I don't have a ton of 360 nostalgia. Is I didn't play it. We always had one, and I would play everything that was on it. But my main thing at that point was World of Warcraft. Meeting
Warcraft addiction,
her
man.
right over there.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Yeah, kind of worth it. Worth it.
Here's my memory that doesn't involve a multiplayer game. Launch night. Just like being there for launch night for the 360 and lining up, and all of us, there was 4 or 5 of us, we went to Lonsdale Street in Melbourne, which back then, not as much anymore, but back then was the Greek Street of Melbourne's CBD. And we were having because it was a midnight launch, so we had coffees and desserts and whatever. Then we walked around to EB and all grabbed our 360s, took them all home, smashed Perfect Dark Zero, and then my 360 red ringed the next morning.
No.
Yeah, it red ringed the next morning. And that was before anyone knew what red ring was, because it hadn't started globally yet.
Fuck.
But I know why it red ringed. Now, we weren't to know the 360 was such a fussy, piss weak console, but I had it tucked in a corner with poor ventilation. So that's why it red ringed. I never had another red ring after that.
Fair. Okay.
So the next day I rang EB. I'm like, my 360's dead. It's got a red light and whatever. And they're like, yeah, bring it in, get a new one. So I just drove back into the city, swapped it over, took it home, and never had another problem for the next decade with 360s.
I think in terms of
so good.
non-multiplayer memory, randomly tricking Argos in the UK to giving me a copy of Fable 3 ahead of the street date by 6 days, and then gleefully walking home and playing it.
Oh wow!
It was just I waited for the queue, and I saw this she was clearly a trainee, and it had a fucking whacking great sticker on it saying "Do not sell until." But I found out I was just cruising where am I going to buy it? This is back when you bought physical games, right? And I'm like,
yeah.
It's showing up on Argos. Can I follow this? And it let me place the order. It'll be ready to pick up at. I was like, banging. Wow. So I gave it a shot, and I got a copy. It was glorious. It was really good.
I got COD 4 one day early because
Nice.
the guy was sort of a friend, and he's like, just unplug your console from online. Just don't play online. So I did. I just played the campaign. I just played the COD 4 campaign and didn't go online until the next day. And man, I played that campaign, and I was like, this is amazing. That COD 4 campaign was just so good.
I got one better.
So good.
I got Starfield a full 2 weeks before anyone else was able to play it. Sorry, I really don't have anything for the 360. I just wanted to be a part of it. Superchat
was so good. Superchat. Red Wolf
begging
keeps
you.
telling me to go on his show, and I'm like, dude, time zones. Red Wolf stands outside Nick's window in the rain with a boombox playing "I'm All Out of Love," waiting for him to come on Renegade Realm podcast. JK Nick, I told you, it's not about not wanting to appear on shows. I keep saying I do, and I do my best to work around time zones and all that sort of stuff. It's not easy. I work full time, 5 days a week. I have a day job that I almost got in trouble with once or twice because of XboxEra, so I need to be very careful. But if I can do XboxEra full time, mate, I'll go on all your shows. 2 a.m., 4 a.m., don't care. I'll do them all.
Only 1,000 more patrons required.
Yes,
Job
that's
done.
it. That's it. I'll do them all your shows.
Japes.
But let me know a time, and I'll see what time that is my time. I'll see. Who's next? Next is Cheeseworks.
Like the stream, y'all.
Like the stream, y'all. Hey, Xbox Era team and listeners, like and subscribe to the channel. And if financially able, consider joining the Patreon. It's just the coffee a month. Woo! Us patrons are a friendly bunch, even after years of John's abuse. Yep. What out there guest would each of you love to get on the podcast? I just saw that Neil Blomkamp mentioned on Twitter. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, I tried.
That he wants more podcast invites, and it would be amazing to listen to him join this lot of gentlemen for an episode. Pablo Schreiber is another Xbox gaming adjacent guest who would be very interesting on the show. That's it for this week for me. Keep up the hard work, and I'm looking forward to the Xbox Era Town Hall.
I want Pablo Schreiber in
Neil
person
Blomkamp.
so he can bench press both of you and break you over his knee for all the shit you've talked.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't be amused with us telling it, talking about the show in the way that we have. Pablo Schreiber.
Oh, Pablo.
Yeah.
But he'd be so distracted by looking at his doppelganger. He'd just be like, the fuck is going on here? He's like, why am I seeing double 4 of me? What is going on here? Like, I think we'd be okay. But man, Neil Blomkamp, and he liked my tweet, so I'm like, oh, follow me back so we can DM each other. He hasn't yet. How are we supposed
probably
to?
because I misspelled his name. I missed an L. Whoops.
Like, I'd love to
Rookie
have
mistake.
Neil on this show, and we could have him on both podcasts because he covers movies and Halo.
Yeah.
So we could have him on both.
Um,
Man, I'd love to talk to him. District 9, man.
yeah, great movie.
Fuck.
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think out there guest.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
I still want Henry
Jack
Cavill
Black.
on the show.
Jack Black would be great.
No, Kyle Gass. Screw Jack Black.
Yeah, to be fair, Jack Black, that was a bit of a dick move.
It was literally 10 days later and no one gave a shit or ever thought about the friggin'
like-
thing ever again. It's like, oh my God.
That was here. That was here in Australia. He did that.
It was a spur of the moment, impulsive joke that I think a lot of Americans probably.
And a few
thought.
days later, it
He
wouldn't.
was
no
in
one would have cared.
Australia, and we all didn't give a rat's ass.
No.
Like, let's just chuck 30 years of friendship down. the
Yeah,
toilet
that's so weird the way he
just
did
to protect
that. Like,
his own career. Like, Jesus Christ.
but I don't understand what he was protecting. I'm confused by isn't he?
'Cause you can't wish
Isn't he a Democrat?
He is. But
I
you
wish
can't
Nick would
wish
die all the
death.
time. I've never been canceled.
It's just like it's just pearl clutching ridiculousness.
It's
Like,
it's the youth today. I blame them.
Is it because maybe he thought, maybe in his head he thought it's not a good look to be encouraging political violence?
yes,
yeah.
that was pretty much the gist.
But
That's,
we're
in fact, I think that's what his apology said. Was
like
I
10
would
days
never,
later.
blah, blah, blah.
If it had been a few days later, no one would have cared because we've immediately gone back to it being exactly what it was before. It hasn't actually changed anything in the long term.
Donald Trump's ears repaired itself remarkably quickly, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
I mean, I don't want to get all tinfoil hat here, but
There's a reason he wouldn't let anyone from the Secret Service or government ever look at it or his doctor or anything. It's very obvious it wasn't shot. Terrifying,
But,
scary thing.
people died.
It wasn't
So
shot.
it
He makes
definitely
me laugh
was
though,
also
man.
real.
He makes. I have to admit, he makes me laugh.
What, Trump?
Yeah, he makes me laugh.
You like
Ridiculous.
like
I hear the
laughing at
shitty-
old
I hear
people
the
with severe
shitty-
dementia? Wow.
I hear the shit he talks, and it makes me laugh.
I
that
watched-
video comparing Obama's speech when he took out Bin Laden, and then
He died like a dog.
he's like, "There was a lot of shooting,
Boo!
there was
Hello,
a lot of
Baba.
blasting, and normally you go in through the front door. Hello, knock, knock, hello."
Oh,
And you
buddy.
hear Obama all dignified and
I know.
speak like, and then you just see Trump, and it's like, oh fuck, it's so funny. It's the best.
It's crazy to me.
Got severe dementia.
I don't get any credit. I never get credit.
Jesus, did you watch the going to the is it the NA I can't remember what it's
the
Black
National
journalists.
Association of Black Journalists.
Thank you. Watching that was just ridiculous. Is she
Oh,
Indian?
love
Is
it.
she black? I don't know. I'm like, fucking.
That's the whole thing. Like,
Makes me
not
laugh.
understanding someone who's biracial, who is both, That is the thing. They are always both. And and now there's like going for a crazy Kamala. Like Biden was a really easy target. She's not as easy because she is a cop and all that stuff. And while others might be able to go at cops, like they've been so pro cop on that side, it's all going to be a mess. Real mess.
Didn't he just agree to debate her?
No, he disagreed. He agreed to debate Biden, and now he's saying, I won't debate you unless it's at this time on Fox, and I won't debate you on ABC News.
Oh, that's right, on Fox.
Yeah.
Who I'm sure won't do that Simpson-style editing where they pause her face to look funny and go, no, don't attack me, no. Something like that. Like the Simpsons.
This is a classic episode. Old School Simpsons was the best, man. That is such a banging episode. Oh,
So
pure
good.
comedic writing.
So good. Back when Conan...
Sweet candy.
yeah, her sweet can, her sweet can.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, right, before we get off on a political tangent that we wish we'd never done.
They need to get Conan O'Brien writing The Simpsons again, man.
Yeah.
That's when the show was at its best.
So good. All right. Yeah, lots of guests. I saw Keanu Reeves in the chat, which would also be a great one to just talk to Keanu Reeves.
We're only like halfway through
Keanu
questions.
Right. Yeah. Okay. 99 Rukin. Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a great and terrible, but mostly great day. With the success of Deadpool and Wolverine and 2 upcoming Disney games from Xbox, do you think Microsoft might make a deal with Disney to bring Activision Marvel or any other Disney game to Game Pass in the coming future? Small second question, who do you think will buy Disney? No one.
No, mate.
Mind you, no one expected Microsoft to buy Activision, so anything is possible. My prediction would be either Apple or Microsoft for the treasure chest of IP they own for the metaverse, including Disney+. I don't think Disney would want to be bought, would they? If anything, it would be Disney wanting to do buying.
With the if Trump gets in office, it would be easier to buy things, but if it remains Democrats in office, it's also going to be an FTC that will fight tooth and nail to stop it, and something that big would be very tough to get through, I think. Also, it's a lot more employees.
John's still muted.
Like, these places are looking to cut costs and bringing on tens of thousands of more employees. Last thing I think anyone's going to do for a long time.
Yeah. I don't see anyone buying Disney. I told you that the next big one, the next big acquisition that I think will happen will still be Apple buying Sony.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Xbox.
I still reckon that's going to happen. What?
I thought you were going to say Xbox and XboxEra.
Oh, man. I wish Xbox would buy us. Then all those shilling accusations, it's like, yeah, man, they own us.
They could pan out.
Okay. That's fine.
Oh, dear.
I get to buy my BMW i7. That's fine.
And
God, that's an ugly car. That's such an ugly car. Stunning on the inside, but fuck me, it's ugly. But yes, I don't think anyone would buy Disney.
No
personally.
chance.
Okay, next question. Azubizu. A few weeks ago, someone suggested a game of 20 questions. How about a game of 7 or 5 clues? Jesse can come up with some clues about the game for John and Nick to guess. Jesse already does this out of frustration when John and Nick failed to guess the game in Name a Game. So I'm hoping it won't take too much effort. A variation of this could be a game of Who Am I? Oh, yeah, I like that. Where you can guess famous video game characters' names based on clues. Keep up the good work. Cheers. Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah, I've been thinking of things like that once we're past Gamescom, really.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
But then,
like, Who Am I, but for a video game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd be willing to give that a shout. Good idea, Azuizu.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Good idea.
And I thought of it first, so you can't sue us and say that we made money off of your idea. That is one of the funny things people always talk about in creation of stuff. Stop suggesting things to us, because then it means we're never going to do it. Because if we do it and it works, then people try and sue us and say we owe them money. Because they came up with the idea.
I hope not. That would be
I feel
sad.
like that's the current climate of the world.
Yeah, true.
But that's not to
The
accuse
first part
Pazuzu.
of the second question from 99 Rukin. What other games
do
might
we
they
think-
try and bring to Game
Did we
Pass from
think that-
Disney?
Yeah, we forgot that bit. The first part of the question: do we think Microsoft might make a deal with Disney to bring Activision, Marvel, or any other Disney game to Game Pass? I don't know.
Are we talking about the old games, the old Activision license games?
Mm.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I could see them doing it. Like I said, I had heard about
so.
the ABK batch, but then I just didn't expect that to include those license games. I think it would be smart of them to do it.
Like bring back the old Spider-Mans.
Deadpool, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, all those Marvel Activision games that were there and got delisted. It would be smart to, even just for a window, and say, hey guys, you've got a month. If you want these games, buy them now.
I do hope we see another massive drop of bet from stuff like that. That would be very cool.
Oh, as soon as Deadpool appeared, I bought it. I've got it on PS3, but as soon as I saw it appear on Xbox One, I'm like, I'm grabbing that. I should have grabbed Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I'm so upset that I didn't. I gifted Marvel Ultimate Alliance to my little nephew and didn't grab it for myself.
It never went on a heavy sale. I was going to grab it if it did.
I've only got it on 360. That's it. It's the only way I've got it. But yeah, I hope Microsoft's working on a deal with them. I hope it would be smart, which makes me think if it's smart, then Microsoft probably won't do it.
Yeah, because you're toxic.
Okay. Because there isn't just a history of them not doing smart things.
There's a history of everyone not doing smart things, but it's always hindsight. Or not understanding how anything works and why it might not have happened. It's not just, I don't want to do that all the time. Sometimes it was just impossible because maybe the other side didn't want to do that or other things. Maybe Bungie wanted to keep their autonomy and be sold for $3 billion, and it was smart to not do it. Those are the times we find out stuff. We don't always know.
Why? When did I say it was?
I wasn't talking about that specifically. I'm just showing that as an example of why something might not have happened. We don't know enough most of the time.
I didn't think they should have bought Bungie back.
Has nothing. I wasn't saying you did. I was just giving an example of why sometimes things happen and we don't always know all the details, so we don't get it. In that case, we got to.
I usually know. I just don't say.
You're told by one or two people who might know, and you just take their word as gospel, and I disagree with that.
I do, because they work at Microsoft. So
Don't care. There's 120,000 people work at Microsoft. A handful of them actually know much.
Wrap it up. Where's the wrap it up button? Good Lord.
Not Jack. Yo.
Oh, I missed him.
Current 2024 Game of the Year? Prince of Persia. It's Prince of Persia.
Hellblade 2 for me.
What?
I've loved it, mate. Blew my mind.
It's Prince of Persia until Astro comes out. And then it's probably going to be Astro.
What about you, Jess?
I can't do just one. Like, I've played too much.
Indiana Jones has a chance.
Yeah, that's very excited for that.
There's already been so much I've played this year that has been great, and there's so much that looks like it's awesome. Like, am I on my friggin' handheld? Then Balatro. Am I on my PC? Then there's been just a ton of incredible stuff this year that I don't even remember most of because I'm jumping from one thing to another all the time. Like, what have I even given it?
I don't know why I keep forgetting Balatro. I played it yesterday for hours. I don't know why I keep forgetting Balatro.
I need to give more 10s. Let me see here. Is anything
this year I'll have 4. I know now from now I will have 4 games this year that legitimately could be my game of the year. Or like Prince of Persia, Balatro, Zelda Echoes, and Astro.
Yeah. I mean, I've got like Balatro, Prince of Persia, Hades 2, Nobody Wants to Die, Shadow of the Erd Tree. I can just keep going. I've already had so many things that were like a 9 or above for me.
I think indie could do it from an awards perspective. I don't think it could do it from my personal choices. But I would love to be surprised and wrong about that. But right now, if I'm... the only thing that could knock Astro from number one for me and let Prince of Persia take it is if Astro's a little bit too bloated and big. That would disappoint me.
80 levels.
Yeah, I was like, oh, God. Did Sony get a hold of him and say, padding. You need padding in this game.
A ton of padding. A padding ton.
No.
Fair. Next question. I can barely sit up anymore.
Yeah,
Next
I also
question.
really need to pee. Come on, let's wrap it up, Nick. No more tangents.
Didac Brew 3. Hi, peeps. Now that we all experience the 360 store... What?
Oh, no, sorry. Ignore me. Carry on. Nothing.
Now that we all experience the 360 store shutdown, I wonder how different the sentiment will be when the Xbox One store closes. Well, that shouldn't close, should it?
No, because
They've said, it doesn't seem
it's
to
all
have
the
the
one
issues.
store.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have the issues that the 360 marketplace was causing. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's all the one store.
Yeah.
Jez made a point on the recent Xbox 2 that we never truly moved past last gen due to the majority of people still there due to service games. Xbox in particular didn't even change the OS UI this gen, so it really feels that barely anything changed for the longest time. Game platform brands rely a lot on nostalgia. The OG Xbox and the 360 branding were very effective to evoke good memories with its games, LAN parties and online systems, while the Xbox One and forwards feels the opposite. With their games being everywhere and only the value proposition of Game Pass to distinguish the brand, how can you build a new generation of fans? You can't win over kids on value, lol. I agree with that. We've talked about it before.
The brand are the games now. Like people just look at Fortnite and Minecraft and these other games, and that is the brand they care about. They don't give a shit what they're playing it on until they're an adult, and then they want the fastest and the bestest, and they buy a PC.
I understand that, but they have a point. Like we've spoken about this many, many times about how Microsoft's not doing anything to usher in a generation of kids that are Xbox fans. We've spoken about it before.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't know how they do it, really. It's beyond me.
Make games that kids will like. What do you mean? That's how they do it. Like, Nintendo obviously has it on lock. Astro, mate. That's why Sony's leaning so into Astro, because they realized that. They were like, what?
I wouldn't say that is purely for kids. That is about, like, I
Astro.
haven't seen kids going crazy for Astro. I know your son does, anecdotally, but I have seen a bunch of 40-year-old men going absolutely crazy for Astro. Like,
They have the biggest kids game. It's just everywhere. They have Minecraft. That's
right.
brand.
But it's not a game that any kid is going to go, oh, I'm an Xbox fan because of Minecraft.
They don't care.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to it.
They need a game that is only on Xbox that kids will be like, oh my God, I have to have an Xbox for this game.
How many years is it going to be before we get past the exclusive is just desperately needed argument? Will it ever happen with Nick? I don't think so. I think we're always going to come back to the same discussion.
I'm the one that said people weren't buying PlayStations because of their exclusives.
I know.
Yeah.
Aren't you arguing the opposite now?
Yeah.
In terms of this kid thing, yeah.
Okay.
There's nothing that they associate like in 20 years. Like right now, there's a lot of Xbox fans that are fans because they had OG Xboxes or 360s as kids. Who are those people now in 20 years' time? There's none.
All of the kids nowadays are playing Fortnite and Minecraft.
But not on Xbox.
I think Jesse is wanting to wrap the show up. Jesse in the chat says Roblox was kind of that game for a while.
Had to find this freaking song.
Yeah, but the problem... I agree on the Roblox thing, but the problem was Roblox predominantly played on an iPad.
Yeah.
Even though the Xbox version was arguably the best version, like it was locked down and very secure and safe. But yeah, Roblox was a weird one because everyone plays that on an iPad, not on an Xbox or even a PC. They play it on iPad. It came out on PS5, and I don't think we hear a peep about it. I don't think
Yes.
people play the console versions of it.
They do. It's in the top plate all the time. It's always in the top.
13,000 child exploitation cases, though. Lovely.
What?
13,000 child exploitation cases raised by Roblox to the government.
Out of
hey,
100 million people.
yeah,
Oh, because of like microtransactions and stuff.
No, people
Child
trying to
exploitation.
get kids to meet them in real life to do bad stuff.
Oh, yes. That's why I turned off chat. That was one of the first things I did in Roblox when I set up their accounts was shut off chat. I was like, nope,
gross.
I'm not having anyone talk to my kids in Roblox. Fuck no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's full on. But yeah, Didact, that's right. They have right now.
Where
They
do
have
you
no
think
way of.
Roblox was for June PlayStation 5. And it is in the top 10, I'll give you that. Where do you
Number
think
4.
it is? Oh, did you look it up? Yeah, it's number 4. Fourth most played
No,
on
I didn't look it
PlayStation.
up.
Last month it was 6th
How could
most
I look it
played.
up that fast?
I don't know. Maybe you just
could I
had
look it up that
Matt's
fast?
stuff still open. You guessed correctly.
It
Number
was a
4.
pure guess.
Fourth most played game on all of PlayStation 5. The Roblox.
Okay.
It's number 4 on Xbox as well. Was number 3 last month. But
There you
Minecraft
go.
is number 3 on Xbox. It's only number 7 on PlayStation 5. It's a Game Pass effect.
Bet you it's probably number 1 on Switch.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think they
probably
get the
number
Switch,
1 on
do they?
Switch.
No.
Nintendo treats Minecraft like a first-party exclusive. the way they advertise it and the way they treat it, you'd think it was a Nintendo game. They made amiibos of it. They treat it like it's theirs, and I'm sure Microsoft does not care at all. They're probably like, go for it, guys.
Yeah, bring us all the money.
They're like, go for it. yeah, it's a Nintendo game, sure. It's a Nintendo
Sure
game,
it
totally
is.
a Nintendo game. And in the meantime, they're just like, they just count those crisp dollar bills from all the Nintendo money. Okay. Good old Colin.
2 questions left.
Hello, John, Nick, and Jesse. I am still in Japan, so this question isn't about Japan. The Olympics are going on, though. Which Xbox characters would make good Olympic athletes? Hello, Chief.
Yeah. Man's
John.
genetically engineered.
Yeah, John, how come you didn't report about the Halo Combat Devolved on the Game Boy Color project?
Doesn't care about Game Boy Color.
I have seen this. It
looks cool.
Really neat little idea.
It's
like
so cool.
cute. Like loads of little wonderful call outs as well to specific levels and design bits and
It's like the Halo that was built in Atari. Remember the Atari Halo?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that. It's cool.
I really liked the side scrolling one. That was really cool.
Mm.
But-
Oh, could you imagine a 2.5D Metroidvania Halo?
Yeah. Mate, can you imagine if they actually had the stones to go ahead and build that?
So think of like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, but a Halo game.
Yeah, I'd be
my
all over
God.
that shit. I would be
Oh my
all over it.
god!
Sign me up.
Oh my god!
I don't
That
like
would be
Halo
amazing.
Combat Devolved.
What?
Don't like it. It does nothing for me. Watching this video,
What?
I hate it.
Oh,
Ban it.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
Get rid of
have
it.
to love the Game Boy Color really at
Ugh.
this point. Like it's just
I ain't no freak.
yeah.
it's a neat little thing. It's a neat little. I wouldn't play it, but it's a
Ban
neat
it.
little thing. It's
Get
cool.
out of here. Jail those who made it.
Oh,
Next question.
God. If I see Phil at Gamescom, I'm gonna beg him to let someone make a Metroidvania Halo, because that shit would fucking rock its ass off. You want me to vote for an Xbox game for Game of the Year? You make a Metroidvania Halo, man.
What
That'll
if,
be my game of the
what
year.
if you had a blank check and you could get Moon to do it?
No, I'd get Ubisoft to do it. Whoever
No.
made Prince of Persia, or I'd get Mercury Steam to do
Oh
it.
God, no! I do not like Metroid Dread. I don't want them anywhere near it. Get them out of here.
Oh, they can do it.
Overrated game.
Or just get Ubisoft to do it. Ubisoft have made Nintendo games like Mario and Rabbids. Get them to make the 2D. Just get the Prince of Persia team to make the Metroidvania Halo. Oh, fuck.
Maybe
That's what I
one
want
day.
now. That's what
Maybe
I want
one day.
now. That's what I want now.
I would like it. Yeah.
Learn to code.
Phil better dodge
good
me because
question.
I'm just going to fucking harass the shit out of you. Been
I don't know
asking
if he
for
said
that.
he's going to be there or not.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
I know.
okay.
Try and meet up with Aaron Greenberg, hopefully, and some others that I actually can talk to.
Jason
so.
Ronald. Jason Ronald's going.
I've had a little chit chat with Jason. We're going to see if we can get a little dinner date going.
Oh,
between
nice.
Our group and then so
Oh, sick.
No, Nick.
love to see Jason.
Everyone but Nick.
yeah, he said it's the Australian gang. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can't really.
I'd
not
love
let
to
him
see
go.
Jason. That'd be cool.
Yeah, he's an absolute.
Be like, why are
dude.
all you Xbox executives such stupid fucking wankers? And then that's the end of it.
He'd slap you in the face.
Oh,
Last
pulley by his
question.
beard.
Last question.
Justin Dudley. What game is your guilty pleasure that you love that reviewed poor? Oh God, how long you got? Mine is Recore and Homefront 2.
Redfall.
Recore's 1. Recore is 1.
Redfall's
Crackdown
a great
3.
answer.
Crackdown 3.
You probably share with me now, John.
I think Redfall's great. Like I've had a really good time. I'm looking forward to finishing it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to throw an oldie in there. I loved
Rise.
Fahrenheit.
Oh God, I can't do David
Yeah.
Cage.
Yeah,
I
I
really loved it back when I was a kid. I
It
like,
was
this
it was
Yeah, I've got mates.
unique and
I've got
weird.
mates that loved it.
It was so weird, that game, that I
Yeah.
understand why.
The thing was, it was really cool at first, and then it went fucking weird, right? But the initial, like, you've murdered someone, and you're like, holy fuck, like, what the fuck am I doing in this diner? And you're like, I thought that was really nifty. But yeah,
Yeah, he had a
very
cool
weird
concept,
game.
but then it went his weird, awful writing route, and yeah.
yeah,
Borderlands reviewed well,
good
Gary.
question.
Rise, Son of Rome.
Yeah,
Was
4 out of 10 on GameSpot.
like- Yeah, but if it had Sony Santa Monica Presents before it, be a fucking 8. Be a fucking 8. Like Rise, Son of Rome, man, that game. Short, linear, pretty.
beautiful.
And the shit it got. Oh, QTEs. No, they're combos. Like, relax. God of War does those now, and you don't sit there fucking crying calling them QTEs.
You know what the
They're
issue
just
is?
combos.
It's how the game shows them and makes them feel fresh and not as repetitive. That's one of the main problems that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League have, where the base gameplay is super fun, looks great, story's really interesting, but they do not hide the fact that there's like 4 mission types, and you are just doing them over and over again outside of the few unique mission stories. Because even those
But it
mission
felt
stories will
so
take
good,
those stuff. But yeah.
In Rise, even doing the same combos, it felt good. Like the 300 style slowdown, and then the sword just goes into the throat, and you just see the blood
More-
go. Blah. It's
They
like,
needed
oh.
more model variety, which I know is hard on a DVD. You killed the same 7 groups of unbelievably
No, I
large
know, but-
brothers, and I do think that type of stuff weighed on people, where they couldn't overlook it
What?
for how good the rest
Do
of
you
the
think
game
the
was.
enemy variety in God of War is like massive?
No,
or
but it's not-
Spider-Man?
It's not human as much, or things are hidden, where it's the same exact barbarian guy like 1,000 times. People are just going to point it out.
I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Rise is like the textbook example of Xbox tax. That is like the textbook example of it. Because the quote-unquote problems with Rise are all present in God of War. All the same problems are basically present in God of War, and everyone fucking creamed their jocks over God of War. I loved God of War, because I also loved Rise. That's called consistency.
I think there are 2 types of Xbox tax. Number 1, you can throw Rise in there. Number 2, you can throw this dumb shit about the Japanese price raising. And so you've got your toxic journalism coverage, and then you've got your toxic creators who focus on Xbox coverage. And that's the double
I
tax.
played it, Brit. I got the full 1,000. I played it. The multiplayer in Rise. That shit was underrated too. Wasn't amazing, but that shit was underrated
It
too,
was
man. The
one of those
multiplayer in Rise
cool
was all right.
throw-ins.
Yeah. Like, it was pretty... Like, for something that was probably very last minute... I mean, you have to understand, Rise's development is insane. Like, that started as a first-person Connect game for 360 and pivoted very, very quickly to a third-person action game with a multiplayer mode. And man, trying to build up your combo in that multiplayer, that was an awesome meta game. It was so good. Like, man.
John's bladder's burst. He's about to die.
I hope that sequel is still coming. I hope that sequel is still coming.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
That's it.
That's it. All right. What a good show.
That was the last question.
With us today and
yes,
supporting the team. Love you
Thanks
guys.
for the super chats.
Yep.
Thanks for stopping by.
And don't forget, we will see you in the chat for the premiere of Secret Project on Monday.
And then maybe a little thing.
Serious big noise. Maybe a little thing soon after, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just going to schedule it because I want people to know what's going to happen. But John and I will be around to chat about hashtag Secret Project in a live stream a little after the premiere.
A little bit afterwards. I would love to see if Predrag could be there as well, if he's willing.
Yes.
So I will ask him
But
tomorrow.
quickly buy him a better mic so he's not using his inline mic on his earphones.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what we can rustle up. But I would love for him to be there and for folks to
see. Ben Angelo's going to be up at 4 a.m. Nick.
I mean, I love that you're going to be up for it, man. That is pretty legendary. Like, and it's worth mentioning. There are patrons that do know. Like, there is a very select, tiny group, and I really appreciate that no one has leaked it, even Nick.
We haven't had to pay for our expensive Bolivian hit squads, thankfully.
Yes, yeah. But until then, we'll be back on Monday in some capacity on the Square Enix stage one time. And until then, we'll see you then. We'll be back on Headlines Tuesday, Thursday, back for the podcast as normal on Saturday. It will be an episode, next week's podcast, focusing on everything we revealed. But you can expect a huge amount of noise from us all week long, certainly, and maybe a bit longer than that. But all will be revealed. Roll on.
Then after that is an in-person episode. Oh,
it's going to be so hype. 2 weeks.
It's crazy. 3 great ones. So it's Secret Project, in person, and then our roundtable discussion of what we saw at Gamescom. I think those are 3 pretty good shows. And then,
but that one's not going to be at the normal time.
We'll try and schedule it.
We'll record it and do a premiere. Then people can hang out and talk and chat and stuff. So we can
okay.
And then the following week when we're all back, and then it's getting to talk like we normally do about it. So it's going to be a good month.
We might have maybe Jeff Grubb next week.
Oh,
nice. It'd be good to have him on.
He's at SummerSlam
I asked
right
him
now.
to be on a couple of weeks ago, and we were looking at dates, and he said he might be able to be on next week, whatever that date is. I said, that's the week before I go to Gamescom. So
Is Grub going?
No. Other
He
people
might
are.
be.
He said no.
Oh, he's not.
No.
Shame.
Other people are. I think like Dan Reichert's going and some others. So there'll be people. There'll be lots around. So hopefully we'll get to meet
I don't
some
know,
folks.
Dan. I only know Mike and Jeff.
It would be cool if Jeff came.
Well, if you went to SummerSlam, you'd be hanging out with Mike and Jeff right now, and Dan. But yeah.
Anyway,
MVG will be here though next weekend.
Yeah,
I'm gonna catch up with him.
that's cool.
Yell at him why Tomba's not on Xbox. No one cares.
Yeah, I'm gonna bash him.
Until then, folks, 2 sleeps. We'll speak to you on Monday.
Yeah. Ciao for now.
Pixel warriors are grinding late shift, sky so gray. Folks slinging heroes, fighting for just pay. Corporate giants tower, they don't see. Workers binding together, breaking free. Crunch time killing dreams, souls estranged. Together we rise, refuse to be chained. Whispers turn to roar, we're setting free. The digital frontier belongs to you and me. Union power standing tall, breaking chains, no more fall. Game devs taking the wheel, no more silence, this is real. In the glow screens, our spirit flares high, shoulders locking, hearts pounding battle cry. No more shadows, no more lies, uniting forces, destiny uprise. Insulated dreams we share and build, united voices, powerful force of will. Future's bright when together we stand, game creators hand in hand across the land. Corporate empires trembling at our might, creating a legend when we choose to unite. Digital soldiers, we forge our own fate. Rise up, comrades, before it's too late. Ooh, 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 ooh. John's got a struggle with the crowd. Patrons so mean they shout aloud. But John's got a secret deep inside, keeps him smiling real wide. They don't know what John's been up to, plans in motion just for you. Patrons try to drag him down, but he won't wear a frown.